Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what is going on with my camera, but every time I've tried to go live, even after I've set it on horizontal, it flips it on me. So I hope I get everybody back in this one. I'm so sorry. I had to delete the other one out. It's crazy. Trying to get this set up. Have y'all been listening to the news? It seems they think President Trump had more shots fired at him today. Sometime around 2 o'clock. He was out golfing, and there were shots fired, and Secret Service rushed him away to safety. And I don't think he was shot or anything, but there were several shots fired around the area where he was golfing. So they're not sure if that's another attempt on his life or what. Let's see, we got Diana, we got April, Donna, Kai. Hello, Kai. How many we got in here? 27. Oh, okay, way to go. It's not too bad for having to start a second live and delete out the first one, is it? I tell you, I just don't know what's going on with my camera. I set it on horizontal every time, and then when I try to go live, it's flipped it on me. And you know, it does not let you go back and change it back after you go live. So all I could do was just end it and start over. Yeah, I was listening. That's why I was late getting on. Not only that I had to start a new live, but my son texted me. He said, Mom, someone shot at Trump again or something like that. And he said it was on the news. And so I flipped the TV on, and just in time for them to say that there were several shots fired around the vicinity. He was out golfing, and Secret Service, rushed around him. They got him away to safety, and several shots were fired at the shooter. I don't know if they shot him or stopped him or if they apprehended him. I don't know. Don't know the details. And I think Kennedy dropped out, and now he's supporting Trump because he's hired extra security too for himself. Because, any of them, their life's in danger. I mean, they shot JFK, and they're not going to stop and not shoot at another Kennedy if they try to run for office. So now it's double time, Kai. Oh my goodness. And you know what? I don't think I turned and I don't know if I can do it now. I can't. I didn't turn my notifications off my camera. So you're going to get all kind of noises and dings and stuff coming in on. Oh, it's not my day, I'll tell you. First I had to start a new live, and now I didn't turn the notifications off, so that's going to be coming through there. Yeah, I know it was at the golf course, Connie, but, I didn't get to listen to enough of it to see whether they apprehended the shooter or not. I know they said that was several shots fired at him, but I turned it off and had to come start the live, so I didn't hear whether they ever apprehended him or not. He must have been a bad shot. I tell you. If I was going to try to assassinate a president, I'd make darn sure I was an A1 shot. I wouldn't go out there shooting if I couldn't hit the target, you know? I mean, that's ridiculous. Because his butt's gone regardless of whether he shot Trump now, and I wouldn't take the chance. If I was going to attempt to take someone's life, I'd make darn sure I hit them. Because, you know, you're either going to die or you're going to get caught and sent to jail for the rest of your life. I mean, you shoot a president, I'm sure you're going to get the death penalty if you live that long. I don't know, Karen. All I know is he was out playing golf. There were several shots fired. The Secret Service fired back at the shooter. According to Connie, they did apprehend the shooter, but Trump was not hit. Secret Service, you know, got him away and got him to safety. But it looks like it was another attempt on his life. You know, they're so afraid he's going to get elected again. That's what it is. They bring in all these, well, what do you call them? You can't even call them illegals anymore. What do we call them? Foreign people to the country. And, you know, it's just to buy votes. That's the only reason they're letting them vote. And that's should be illegal right there. I mean, how many years has it been that we voted? We had to have a registration card. We had to be a legal citizen to be able to vote. And now they're letting all these illegals in and they're going to let them vote. I mean, I don't know what this world's coming to, y'all. Yeah, that was one thing they said. They said it did happen at his golf course. He was out playing a game of golf. So how's everybody doing today? I know they've got more rights than we do. They get free stuff. We're not entitled to all the free stuff. You know, some of them are not getting the deal they thought they were going to get, though. Because I watched some of this news broadcast from New York. And, you know, they've been busing illegals in up there, promising them a free place to stay and all this. They put them up in a hotel for a month. But they don't tell them after the month. They're homeless. They're out on the street. So, you know, they're not getting such a good deal. I mean, they may get some free stuff. But who wants to be put up in a hotel for a month and then be put out on the street? Because, you know, I doubt any of them have the money to go rent a home or rent an apartment or anything else in New York City. That's one of the most expensive places you can go to rent or live. So, I don't know. I think if I was someone coming into this country from somewhere else, and unless I was rich to begin with, I'd go to a state that wasn't so expensive to live. But see, they don't know that. They think everything is going to be free. It's going to be handed to them. They're going to get free room and board. They're going to get free food. They're going to get everything free. And then when they get here, they complain because they don't get what they were told they were going to get. Well, sorry, you should have stayed where you came from. That's all I got to say. Yeah, they get funds to open their own businesses. I wonder if we could get it that easily. I doubt it. Yeah, how can they do that when they're not even legal citizens? You know, that was the qualification to us ever since the United States began, as far as I know, that you had to be a legal citizen to qualify from any aid from the United States, the government. You had to be a legal citizen to get anything. You had to be a legal citizen to vote. How are they getting away with this? I'll tell you how. The government's letting them do it. They're encouraging them to do it because they're buying their votes. I mean, I hate to say that, but I know that's exactly what's happening. They want to assure that they're re-elected, or whoever they put up there is elected, by handing out this free stuff. If you hear my phone, I mean, yeah, because I'm videoing on my phone right now, and that's the phone that's the one I set it all up on. But I forgot to go turn the notifications off. So you'll just have to bear with that today. At least I've got it horizontal. Oh me, I just don't know. Sometimes I wonder if there's any hope for me. I did 3 videos yesterday, so today I didn't even want to get up. I've still got those 5 mums that I bought in that shopping trip to Walmart, and I've got to get those planted. They're still sitting on my patio. I've got that raised bed greenhouse. You know, I got it put together, and I got it in the backyard, but I'm not 100% sure that's where I want to leave it or how I want to set it up. So I still got that to do. I have to read you this. It's one of the quotes of the day from Confucius. It says, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. In other words, to succeed, you can't give up. You got to keep going. Yeah, I was going to film on my other this one that doesn't have phone service. But when I went live, that's when it flipped it. And it had to be because I set it up on one and I've tried to go live on the other, I guess. I don't know. But then I forgot to turn on the do not disturb. And there's Wilson. Hi, Wilson. So I basically took the day off today. I posted one of my videos this morning that I did yesterday. And then I said I got my live today. I got another video I can post tomorrow. So I basically took the day off. I said I was just pooped after. I got laundry done. I did some laundry yesterday. I did another load this morning. And I said between that, cleaning house, doing my videos, it wore me out. You can make money, but I tell you what, you got to work to get it on YouTube, that's for sure. And then you got to hope that people like what you're showing them. Because if people don't like, don't watch your videos, you don't make any money. Yeah, you can't stop if you ever want to succeed in anything. You can't stop. You just got to shrug it off and keep going. And I'm stubborn. I'm a Taurus. I'm a bull. I'm stubborn. I don't give up. You put a challenge in front of me, it makes me work harder. Maybe that's why I've survived all these years. I don't give up. Oh, wow, listen to that. Wilson won $20 playing bingo. Way to go, Wilson. Yeah, no matter how hard, what type of knocks life puts at you, life knocks you down. It's knocked me down off my feet so many times in my lifetime. It's a wonder I didn't give up, but I didn't. I was determined. I'm trudging through. I'm not giving up. Hi, Deborah. How are you doing? I'm great. Just trying to recuperate from doing 3 videos and laundry and everything else in one day yesterday. Yeah, I'd love to win $20 playing bingo. I haven't played bingo in many years. But every once in a while we used to win. We'd get something, some kind of prize. Nope, Taurus does not give up. We're stubborn. My daughter's Aquarius. She's the new age people. My son is a Gemini. But yeah, you're right. A Taurus does not give up. We're too stubborn to give up. Yeah, well, that was so good. I'm glad you won at bingo. Got to get a cough drop in my mouth. April said she's a Taurus, too. Hi, Marthy. I got my stuff right behind me. I don't... I'm going to have to freeze, I guess, part of it. Because I got my pastries here. The ones I haven't eaten, I've got my turnovers here. A whole plate still. And I put them up there to cool. And I'm not put them anywhere else. And there's my little pies. My fruit pies that I made. I still got all 3 of them. I'll probably eat one of those tonight. But every once in a while, I'll grab one of the little fruit turnovers and have to eat it. I said, I can't have stuff like that around. I end up eating it all. Yes, it's the best, but I'm just one person here. I can't eat all that. I guess I can throw some of it in the freezer, leave the little pies out and eat them. Because I don't want to put the glass bowls in the freezer. Throw the other ones, put them in a baggie and put them in the freezer. If I can make room. Well, it's cooled off a little bit. The high was only 93 today, which that's what it is right this moment. But you know, by Thursday, it's going to be back to 97. But that's Texas weather for you. We don't usually have real cold weather. Now, through like December and January, I think that's our coldest months. But even then, sometimes a lot during the day, it's 70 degrees. They're not over there today. Hi, Linda. I just noticed you came in. I read your comment before I saw your name. It's been real calm here today. No wind at all, really. But it's kind of been an overcast day. The sun's not out real bright. And I guess that's why it's cooler. But 93 is not cold. I mean, 93 is pretty warm. But at least it's not 103. Wilson's a Libya, whatever. I'm not familiar with that sign. $77 degrees in Hawaii. That's pretty much the perfect weather. You know, anywhere between 70 and 80 is pretty good. Susan said her kid. You know, I woke up with a slight headache this morning. And then I saw the pollen count, and the pollen is real high today. And I said, that must be why I woke up with just a slight headache this morning. I mean, I'm fine now. My head doesn't hurt, but I woke up with a slight headache. Have you taken anything for your headache, Susan? I don't know. If I do that, they might wonder what I'm up to. They might wonder what job I'm going to hit them up for that I don't have to pay for. I feed them with cookies and turnovers and pies. Yeah, I was just going to say that Connie had messaged me that that Gladys would not be able to be with us today. She was flooded where she's at, and she doesn't have any cable or internet right now, so she's not going to be able to join us. Potential. They're probably all married, and they're not going to do anything for free, not for food anyway. God knows I've had enough food in this house the way I've been. That's one reason I do some of the videos that I do, so I don't have tons and tons of food left over because my freezers are full, y'all. I don't have nowhere else to put food to freeze it. No, I haven't heard that, Diana, that the sun's throwing plasma from the sun. All right, Susan, well, take something for your headache and lay down and close your eyes, and maybe your headache will go away. And there's Shelly. Hi, Shelly. How's the garden growing? Mine looks great right now. And I still got those great big bell peppers out there that I got to pick before something gets to them. I knew as big as that plant got, it had to have some good sized peppers on it. I'd have been so disappointed if I'd have had little bitty peppers that big around on that great big plant. Well, that would be a plan, Wilson. We could all have a dinner get together at my house. Been raining for 5 days. Well, it rained here for 5 days, then it stopped, and now we're in a drought again. But at least the temperatures have cooled off a little. But like I said, by Thursday, it's going to be back to 97 again. And we haven't had any more rain since it rained that 5 days straight. And that was, what, about a month ago? Let's all go to Linda's for dinner. Well, I don't know what I'm cooking. I'm not cooking today. I ate leftover beef stir fry, teriyaki stir fry for lunch today, and still got a little bit of it left. So if I eat anything for dinner, that's probably going to be it, stir fry. But I don't mind. I love stir fry with rice, and it's healthy with all the vegetables in it, so I don't mind. I didn't see her cinnamon roll video. I've been so busy I haven't been able to watch anybody's videos. I did hit Alfonso's live last night. And I come across it by accident, I think. No, I know. I got a notification and I was looking down my notification list and I saw that he was live, so I clicked on it and watched a few minutes of his live and chatted back and forth with him. Grandma Teresa had pork chops, mashed potatoes, gravy, and green beans. That sounds great. I love all of that, so yeah, that would be good too. My problem is there's not many foods out there that I don't like. I mean, I don't like raw oysters, and I refuse to eat snails. I'm not eating snails. I don't care what they call them. They can call them escargot, but they're snails to me, and I'm not putting one of those things in my mouth. I'm sorry. But now I love fried oysters. Oh my God, the fried oysters back home, they're huge, but when they're fried, oh my God, they are so good. You can't get oysters out here like that. Maybe down on the coast, you know, in Galveston or somewhere down on the coast of Texas, you could probably get some good ones, but not up here in north central Texas. We don't have them up here. We don't have ships coming in with oysters and seafood on it. Yeah, well, my stir fry was a good Sunday meal too because I was wore out from yesterday. Wilson had turkey legs, sweet potatoes, and iced tea. That all sounds good. That's a good combination, turkey legs and sweet potatoes. That's almost like you're getting early Thanksgiving dinner. Connie had pigs in a blanket. Used hot dogs for your pigs. I love those little pigs in the blanket. I don't get them very often, or I don't make them very often, but I do love them. I just sit down and make my whole meal out of pigs in a blanket, not eat anything else, and that's my problem. April's out throwing the ball for her dog. Little Buddy and Lucky's fantastic. They were fed already today. They're out laying on the sidewalk. I went out earlier to throw my bedspread over the clothesline to, you know, let it get some air, just air it out some. Because I don't wash it every week because it's a crocheted bedspread. And it's hand washed when I do wash it by me. But I had stripped the beds this morning, washed my sheets, and decided I'd throw my spread out there on the line and just air it out a little. That's me, Diana. I'm eating my leftover stir fry today, and I've been eating my apple turnovers or my fruit turnovers. Pot pie sounds real good. You know, I was undecided if I wanted to make a pot pie or the fruit pies, and I ended up with the fruit pies. I think next time I'll make a pot pie. Maybe a chicken pot pie or something like that. Because I haven't had a good pot pie in a long time. I'm due a good pot pie, y'all. So I'm ready for one. How about catfish nuggets? Oh, that sounds good. I love catfish. So catfish nuggets would be fantastic. Yeah, I like the fried pies too. And you know, a lot of the companies that sell these turnovers, they fry them. They don't bake them like I did. They fry them. But I chose to just bake mine. Yeah, that's what I figured they would think if I went over there with a plate full of apple turnovers. They'll figure, well, okay, what do you want us to do now? How are the donut holes? I haven't made any donut holes. I made a video on pot pie, the fruit pies, and then I made another one on the fruit turnovers. And I only posted one of them this morning. I don't even remember which one I posted. Let me see. I posted the mini fruit pies. So I haven't posted the turnover one yet. But you know what? It's got 500 views on it already. And it was only posted not quite, a little over 4 hours ago. So it's averaging about a little over 100 views an hour, which isn't too bad for me. I wish I was getting a lot more views than that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Some people say my videos are too long. But you know, some of this stuff that you cook, even if you stop and start your video, which I do a lot of times to shorten the video, still it ends up being around an hour long or longer. And I get messages, your videos are way too long, you know. It's like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Just show you the fixings that I'm going to do and then show it to you after it comes out of the pan or the oven and not show you how it's prepared or how it's cooked. I don't know. I was told that people want to see each step, especially people that have never cooked before or learning to cook, or maybe they haven't cooked that particular item before. I was told in messages that they want to see all those steps. So, you know, you can't please everybody, but I do need more views. I definitely need more views. I'm working myself to death for what I get. There's other people that put up a video like mine and they get a couple of thousand videos on it in a day or so. And I'm only averaging a little over 1,000 after a couple of days. And that's not good. Grandma Teresa said, just keep doing what you're doing. Well, I'm trying. I mean, I get more and more subscribers every day. So I hope eventually I'm going to pick up more views every day too. Wilson said he likes TV dinners. I do too, but I make my own TV dinners, Wilson. I don't buy TV dinners anymore. When I cook and have some leftovers, I make my own TV dinners with the leftovers. Yeah, I try to keep them as short as possible. But you know, you can't stop it every minute. I mean, like if you're making flour, you know, dough, people usually want to see how it's mixed, how you knead it, how you roll it out. You know, if I take all that out, then it's not going to be a video showing people how I'm doing this. So, Ashley says it's thundering where she's at. Well, I wish it'd thunder here if it would rain. As long as we didn't get any bad wind or anything with it. I mean, I guess I got a little bit upset with one comment that I got. And I don't remember what video it was on. But they liked the video. They just said it was too long. They didn't have time to sit there and watch a long video like that. And I guess the way they worded it, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I replied back, sorry if you think it's too long. If you don't have time to watch it, I'm sorry. But I said, maybe you need to stop and smell the roses for a change. And I left it at that. And I don't know, it may have pissed them off. They may have unsubscribed to my channel. I don't know. But sometimes I'm not sure it's a good idea that I even read my comments. And you know, one day I may get so many subscribers that may leave me so many comments that it's going to be impossible to even answer or read all of them. I know, I told one of them, I said, well, just skip over the parts you don't want to watch. Well, then I'll miss something. I said, well, if I cut out part of the video, you're going to miss that part. So what do? I mean, they don't want you to cut out parts of the video because they might miss something, but yet it's too long. What is tripe? Tripe is the intestines, I think. I don't want anything to do with beef tripe at all. I don't want the brains. I don't want the tripe. I don't want any of that stuff. That's what I say, Grandma Teresa, yuck. It's not something I want to put in my mouth. I don't know. Do a video washing the wheels on your car and see what happens. I mean, that's not a bad comment or degrading comment. I don't know. Some of these guys love to watch women work. I've even had, and that's not a bad comment. I've gotten several comments on some of my videos about, where I was mowing or putting things together or planting something in the garden, that type of thing. And I've got comments coming back, oh, I love your videos. I just love to see you work. So I take that as a compliment, I'm not offended by it. Yeah, it is kind of weird, but some people like to see other people do a job. They like to see you work. And maybe they need to see how you clean your wheels and see if they're doing them right. I don't know. Just like I did a video on cleaning my oven. I clean my oven with baking soda. I don't use oven cleaner because oven cleaner will strip the coating off of your oven and cause it to rust and get terrible. So I've always cleaned it with vinegar and baking soda. And it takes everything off out of my oven. That's why I keep it so clean. I did a video on showing people how I repaired my garden hose. I usually buy a 100-foot garden hose at a time because I'm dragging it around the yard watering stuff. But after a while, it wears out. But usually I'll repair it several times. Slice the hose and put a connector in to take care of the part where it leaks. And people seem to like that. They say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that in my garden hose the next time it springs a leak. That way I can put off buying a new one for a little bit. And that's the reason I do it. It just puts off the inevitable. I know sooner or later I've got to replace that hose, but I'm not going to replace it till I have to because it costs too much. Well, I can't breathe the oven cleaner for one. It takes my breath. I'm allergic to something in it. I'm allergic to pesticides, stuff like that. I know I cleaned my commodes with something one time, some kind of extra strong cleaner, and I breathed too much of it. I should have been wearing a mask, but it didn't have a warning on it to wear a mask when you used it. But just the fumes that I was breathing cleaning it gave me bronchitis. And I went to the doctor and I told him what I'd been doing, and I didn't know if that cleaner had anything to do with it. He said, yeah, there was something in that cleaner you're highly allergic to. And he said, that's what gave you bronchitis. So I don't use that cleaner anymore. Yeah, I've learned you got to wear a mask no matter what I use anymore. Yeah, well, I don't like that menudo soup either. I worked with a little Mexican orphan girl. I worked in a house where, they're foster kids. This woman needed an assistant to come in and help her because she had like 6 foster kids. And one of them was a little Mexican girl. And she came home one day with a cup full of soup. And she and some of the other ones asked her what it was. And she said, it's menudo. And they said, well, what is menudo? And she said, it's a Mexican soup. Well, she poured it out in a bowl to eat it. And it looked like pure fat floating around in the top. And I was like, no, I could not eat that. I said, it might taste good. I don't know. But I said, I can't eat hunks of fat like that. That grossed me out. And she said, it tastes real good. And she was just eating all of it. But see, she grew up eating that type of thing. I couldn't have held it down. It would have come back up as fast as I'd have swallowed it. I've eaten goat meat before, and it was really good. It was just as good as beef. It was a little bit more oily, greasy like. but it was good. I made a stew with it. Just like you did a beef stew, I put carrots, potatoes, onions, and all that stuff in it. And I worked in a CPA office at the time, years ago. And one of the CPAs that I worked with, his wife raised goats. Her parents raised goats. So they always had goat meat in the freezer. And he was talking about it one day, and he said, well, they were cleaning out their freezer, getting ready for the new stock of goat meat to put in there for this winter. And they had a lot of goat meat they had to get rid of. And he said he didn't know what they were going to do with it. I said, well, hey, I'll take some of it. I've never eaten goat, but I bet it's good. So he brought me a package of it the next day. I brought it home. I made a big pot of stew with it. And I took him a container of that goat stew to work the next day. And he ate it. He said, oh my God, he said, that was the best stew I've ever eaten. He said, if my wife could cook like that, I would never give away goat meat. He said, we have all that goat meat, but my wife don't know how to cook. Now, I don't know if he was just saying that or, to make me feel good, because I'm sure his wife knew how to cook goat meat. She was raised on a goat farm, so she knew how. Yeah, you can't breathe using ammonia either. It'll take your breath. And you know what? One time I had guys, they came in and did some repairs for me, and they were going to spray paint the vent on top of the house, the roof. It was the vent coming from the furnace. And they spray painted it with like chrome paint. And I was standing way out in the yard looking up at them, way across the yard, almost to the property line. But the wind was blowing that day. And I stood there watching them the whole time they were spray painting it. And it looked like brand new when they got finished. But you know what? There was enough of the particles in the air that the wind blew in my direction that I breathed that it gave me bronchitis from it. So I had to go to the doctor and get some stuff for that. Stronger than my Benadryl, because I'd have been sick for 2 or 3 weeks taking Benadryl to get rid of it. The dosage that I have. Now, a triple dose of it like they give you in the shots, that would have cleared it up, but what's going on? Horns blowing next door. I know y'all hear it. I use vinegar too, April. Yeah, it's high in cholesterol because of the fat content. What is going on? It was a guy across the street. I think he traded one of his cars in and got him a pickup, and his pickup alarm was going off. And just as I stood up to look out the window, it stopped. He had turned it off. No, it's just his pickup. The alarm went off on the pickup for some reason. And there's Nancy McKay. Hi there. How are you doing today? I know the price of vinegar is really getting high. I use usually the white vinegar to clean with. I keep like a gallon jug of it in my cabinet over here. But usually for cooking, a lot of the salads, different things like that, I'll use the apple vinegar. No, I just prepared it just like I did beef, Diana. I threw it in a pressure pot. I cooked that beef, I don't remember for how long, about 45 minutes, or the goat. I cooked it for about 45 minutes to tenderize it, and then I took the lid off. I threw in carrots and potatoes. Well, I cooked the onions when I first browned the meat, because I browned my meat in the bottom of the pot with my onions, and I seasoned it before I add liquid and then put it under pressure. And then when it gets through cooking, I take the lid off, add my potatoes and carrots, peas, or whatever else I'm going to put in there. And it was real good. It was a little greasy, a lot more than just regular beef, but it had a really good taste to it. Yeah, and when you breathe the vinegar, it doesn't hurt as bad as breathing these cleaner chemicals and stuff. Even when I spray the kitchen cleaner, that has Clorox in it, when I clean my sinks and stuff with it, I try not to inhale when I'm spraying it, because just that will irritate my bronchial tubes and my nasal passage and everything else. So you cook it like a roast. Yeah, I put it in my pressure cooker. And I chop mine up like I would just a regular roast. I mean, stew meat, to fix a stew beef or stew. And like I said, I put it in my pot. I browned it with my onions and my garlic and all that seasoning. And then as soon as I got it as brown as I want it, I poured liquid in it, water, chicken stock, you name it. And then I put it under pressure for about half hour to an hour almost. And then took the lid off, added a little bit more water, put in my carrots and my potatoes. And it turned out really good. And that meat was just as tender as it could be. And I did not think it had a wild taste at all. Well, that's the only time I've ever eaten it, is when he gave me that package of it, because I had never eaten goat before. Now, my brother and his wife raised goats, but they were pets. And they, sometimes when the goats would have their babies, when they were old enough, they would sell them, some of them. But they told them right in the advertisement, now, if you're buying these goats to butcher them to eat them, you're not getting them from me. Because my goats are pets. They're not for meat. And they said if they found out that anybody was buying their goats to butcher them, that they would not sell them to them. I've eaten squirrel. I've never eaten rabbit before. Squirrel is pretty good, but you just don't get much on them little bones. I mean, they're bony things, There's not much meat on them. And there's Patty C. Hi there. I'm glad you're feeling better today, Patty. Yeah, and we need to remember Ann Watson again. I mean, I know I ask for prayers for Ann Watson every time we have a live, but she's just really going through some bad situations right now with her neck. She just went through 2 surgeries. She's going to have another one. Well, she should have had another one the 12th. She broke her ankle. So she's just not in a good place right now, y'all. And I know a lot of you that are in the live, you need prayer as well. Connie needs prayer. Gladys needs prayer. All of us need prayer. We've all got our own health problems or financial problems or something going on that we all need prayer. Now, I've eaten a little bit of gator, like when we went to the seafood restaurant in Fort Worth. I don't remember what it was called, Sam's or something. But you order this seafood platter, and what they do is that they put all of the food on this one gigantic platter. And they bring it to you, and they set it right in the middle of the table. And then they give everybody plates, and you just dip out of that big platter what you want. There's French fries on it. There's fried crab, fried shrimp, fried octopus, fried gator. Every kind of seafood or something that crawls or goes in the water that you could imagine was in that tray. So I've eaten gator on that tray, and it was pretty good. They had fried clams, scallops, you name it was on there, and it was pretty good. But that was the first restaurant I've ever been to where they served everything on that one big platter right in the middle of the table. Almost like a crab boil for Louisiana, you know. Only this was all fried stuff. It was not a boil. Yeah, I'll pass on the octopus. It's too chewy. If you want something that lasts a long time, just chew on some octopus. Because I got some of that in a restaurant one time. My son-in-law raved about it. He said he loved their fried octopus. And they'd fried it just like they fried clams or something, in like strips. I put a piece of it in my mouth. The breading was real good, but once you got the breading off of it, it was like chewing on rubber that had no taste. And no matter how much I chewed it or how hard I chewed on it, I couldn't chew that mess up. So I looked at my son-in-law and said, I'm sorry, but I can't chew on this anymore. And I took it out of my mouth and laid it on the plate. I mean, I don't know what else to do, you know. I don't want something I can chew on all day and still not get it chewed up. Thank you, Martha. Yeah, squirrel is pretty good. We always like to cook squirrel in rice. We put the squirrel in the pot, get it cooked, almost done, and then throw in some rice and cook it, season it, put a little bit of chicken broth in there. It turned out pretty good. Yeah, I love catfish too. Taco poke, octopus poke. I don't know. I guess it just depends on how it's cooked. If they cook it so it's chewable, it might not be too bad. But you put something in your mouth and you chew and chew and chew and chew and chew, and it's still the same shape it was when you put it in your mouth. I can't handle that. I told my daughter, I said, it's like chewing an inner tube. You can't chew it up. It's impossible. Taco poke here is raw. I don't think I want it then, April. Octopus? Raw octopus? Well, if you can't chew it up if it's cooked, what are you going to do with it if it's raw? Yeah, everybody in our live, everybody that watches videos, everybody in this world needs prayer today. I mean, everybody's struggling. Fixed income people struggle. Even if you got good health, you know, you're struggling financially. And then it's even worse when you got bad health and you're on a fixed income and you can't pay for everything you need. It gets real bad. Yeah, I'm not eating. There's no way I'd even try. How do you get it chewed up, April? I want to know. I'd have to put it through a meat grinder to be able to eat it. And then it wouldn't have any flavor, any taste. I don't know. My mom was a good cook. My two grandmothers were good cooks. My aunts were good cooks. So I guess I watched and learned, you know. I don't think so. Octopus, onion, seaweed, all raw, and soy sauce. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, I know if you can't chew it up when it's cooked, you definitely can't chew it up if it's raw. So I don't know, what do they do? Just put it in their mouth and swallow it whole? Like most people do the raw oysters? Your teeth spring back. Yeah, I only usually eat cooked fish. I don't go to these sushi bars very often. And when I do, it seems like most of the stuff I get seems like it's cooked. Like I love the rolls, you know, the little rolls, and some of them have crab and different stuff in them, but it don't seem like it's raw. I think they must marinate it in something that almost like cooks it. Yeah, I'd have to be almost to the starving point to eat some stuff that people rave about. Raw oysters, I can't handle. Snails, I can't handle. I was tricked into eating a fried frog leg, and that was pretty good. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get frog legs. I'm sorry. It's just the idea of what I'm eating that turns me off. But it did taste pretty good. It was almost like eating chicken. Stick with noodles. Yeah. I've eaten wild hog meat, Wilson, and it was good. A friend of mine, or um, my first daughter-in-law's cousin, went boar hunting every year with those hogs in Fort Worth that they're trying to get rid of because they're destroying property. They encourage people to go up there and shoot these hogs. And him and some friends of his go every year, from what I understood. And he had his freezer full of hog meat. And he gave me 2 small packages of sausage from that wild hog. Oh, I tell you what, that was some of the best sausage. It reminded me a lot of what my grandparents made when they killed hogs every year. It was good. I'd never turned down wild hog meat. Well, my dad used to make turtle soup, but I don't think I ever ate any of it. So I don't know what the turtle tastes like. But I guess if it's like anything else, if you fix it right with the right seasoning, it's probably pretty good. Oh, listen to April. She's eating fresh pineapple. I love fresh pineapple, but I hardly ever buy a whole pineapple. Now, if I'm going to put it in some recipe, I'll buy a whole one and eat part of it fresh, but other than that, I don't get a whole pineapple because that's a lot of pineapple. Yeah, and I imagine you get a lot of fruits in Hawaii that I don't get here. Like kiwi fruit, I don't grow kiwi. I don't grow passion fruit. And I know people swear by that. I don't think I've ever eaten a passion fruit. April says I grow mine. See? You can grow that stuff where you're at. I can't grow it here. Me either, Nancy. I wouldn't turn down any of it. But I don't know of anybody around here that would ever give me any. Because nobody goes hunting except the Mexicans. And the ones that go hunting, they eat all that stuff. They don't give it to nobody. Unless it's some of their family. No kiwis. Papaya, okay. Yeah, I didn't know how lucky I was growing up when my dad's parents owned a farm. And they eat everything fresh right out of the garden. They grew, like I said, they butchered their hogs every year to get their own ham, sausage, bacon. They had their own chickens for eggs, fresh chicken to eat when they wanted it. They grew their own turkeys, so they had fresh turkey when they wanted to go catch one. Oh, goodness, Karen, I don't know what I'd do if I had an allergy to shellfish or fish. Tuna, all fish. Now, as far as I know, I'm not allergic to anything that comes out of the ocean. There's just some things I'm not going to eat that comes out of the ocean, that's all. I mean, I don't want, no way do I want oysters on the half shell. They just look gross. But I love them fried. I could eat my weight in fried oysters. Right off the fruit tree. Yep, that's the best way to get it, April. Yeah, if I had to eat something, I couldn't afford chicken or anything else, but it was plentiful with frog legs, I'd eat them, and I'd like them because they do taste kind of like a chicken. But as long as I can get chicken, I'm not going to go out of my way to get a frog leg. I mean, it's just what's in your mind. Because, your chickens are walking around just like the frogs hopping around. They're creatures too, and you're eating that chicken. It's just what you get used to. There's hardly any food I won't eat. That's my problem with my weight, Patty. If I've got food available to me, I'm going to eat it because there's not that many foods that I do not want to eat. I mean, like raw oysters, snails, the octopus I don't want because I've tried it. I don't like it. But for the most part, I pretty much like food. I don't like hog brains and all that tripe and all that kind of stuff. No. I mean, there's something they make out of animal parts that I don't want any part of. I've been thinking about that. I would love to have a grapevine here in my yard. I don't know if it would do well though. I might try one and just see what happens. But I've never tried to grow a grapevine. That would be awesome to have my a grapevine growing on the arbors that I've got here leading into the garden on this side of the house. Because, I've got 4 arbors in a row, almost like a tunnel to go into the backyard where you step down. It would be awesome to have grapevine growing all over that, wouldn't it? No, I'm not eating any kind of animal brains. Ugh. But like I said, it might be good. It's just what you get used to. What you grow up eating. You've eaten it when you were little, you grew up eating it, and it was probably tasted pretty good. But to me, I've never eaten that, never had to, never wanted to. So I don't know if I could even get it in my mouth. Grilled pineapple's real good. Ashley, that sounds good. Karen says, not me. Me either. Yeah, I'll stick with the basic foods that I grew up eating, I guess. Now, I didn't grow up eating steaks, like T-bones and New York strips and stuff like that, because we couldn't afford it when I was growing up. We had chicken. We had that cube steak sometimes, meatloaf, hamburgers, hot dogs occasionally, but not very often. The basic foods. Roasts, my mom would cook, spaghetti with meat in there, the sauce. But I didn't grow up eating a lot of stuff that a lot of people out here have eaten all their life. Because this is cow country out here. These people grew up eating T-bones and ribeyes and all that because most of it come right from their ranch. Like my grandparents growing their hogs and butchering them every year, having their own cows, for milk and butter, chickens for eggs and fresh chicken. Out here, it's cows. But my stomach won't handle all that meat. Once in a while, I do grill out a steak. But it's not something I've got to have. I mean, if you know how to cook, you can take a cheap cut of meat, and it's going to taste just as good as that steak when you cook it. Baked steak. I've never baked a steak before, so I don't know. I guess it would be pretty good. I've got a George Foreman grill that my kids gave me years ago that I still have, and I've grilled my steaks on that when, before I got my gas grill outside. And it did a pretty good job. And I guess that's the next best thing to baking it or broiling it. Cooked banana in brown sugar and butter. Yeah, that's real good. Grown bananas for over 40 years. I love bananas. I've never tried that, Grandma Teresa. I've never known anybody that baked steak with gravy before. Huh. That's a new one on me. But I'm sure it's good. I don't eat fish heads. I know in some countries they eat every part of the fish. They don't throw anything away. But yeah, when I catch a fish and I bake a fish, I either cut the head off to cook it, or if it's a great big fish, I might leave the head on to bake it in the oven, but then I don't eat the head. I just leave it on because the idea of leaving the head on, I guess, I don't even know why I leave it on. The last fish that I baked, they had a half a salmon. You know, you can buy like the whole side of the salmon, which is about that long, depending on how big the salmon was. And they had them on special, so reasonably priced, that I bought the whole half of one, you know, the whole slab. I wrapped it in foil, put it in the oven, and baked it with onions and stuff. Oh my God, that was the best salmon you've ever eaten in this world. And I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't caught any more on special the way those were. But yeah, that was a lot of salmon. Hi, Alfonso. I caught his live last night. Listened to him for a little bit, and then I had to go. Had other stuff to take care of. But he was playing some good songs last night with his harmonica. Yes, Alfonso, I'm having a fantastic day. I hope you are too. Just got home from swimming. Well, I know that was neat. I haven't been swimming in so long, I don't even know what it would be like anymore. Kroger, the meat department, not much goes to waste. Yeah, it helps when you're working in a store in the meat department. I imagine you get some pretty good deals on meat. Linda, that was the good old days. Yeah. Well, I'd have to buy the salmon. I don't have a big, you got to have the whole salmon. I think that's what it was. It wasn't it wasn't the fillet. It was the whole salmon. And I guess not many people buy the whole salmon in those packages, those vacuum sealed packages that they come in. And they had reduced them down ridiculously low. And I said, man, that's a lot of salmon, but for that price, I cannot leave that there. I'm buying it. So I brought it home and I baked it. I probably couldn't afford to buy a whole salmon in any store in this town right now, the way the prices are. But I'll check on it. I'll see what I can find. If I can find one reasonably priced that I think I can afford, I might get one and bake it. Yeah, I remember I even threw potatoes and carrots in there and baked it all up, and that was so good. Onions, carrots, potatoes. That was some good salmon. I like pineapple in baked beans. I've never had pineapple in baked beans, April, so I wouldn't know. Does it need to be a whole salmon? Well, I did 2 videos, I think, already on cooking salmon, the way I do in my pan on top of the stove. And that's the next thing to bake. It's like baking your salmon, only it's in a pan on top of your stove instead of putting it in the oven. Because I just put enough oil in the pan so that the skin doesn't stick to the pan. And then I season it and turn it down on relatively low heat. And then I cover it. And it's just like baking it or steaming it. Yeah. Yeah, salmon is expensive here too. I can only buy it when I catch it really low priced. And I know every time usually I go in Aldi's, I check their prices on salmon. Because it seems like they have the best prices and the best looking deals on salmon than any store that I've been in so far. Jacob gets 10% off. Well, every little bit helps, I'll tell you. No, I've never eaten fish head before. I just wrap mine in aluminum foil. It keeps it real moist. Yeah, I had salmon to eat for quite a while when I had that whole fish. That was a lot of salmon. I think I must have frozen part of it because I didn't eat it all like in the week. That was too much fish. Steamed salmon with herbs. And see, I put like garlic, lemon pepper, a lot of different seasonings on my fish when I put it in the pan. And it comes out so good. And it's so moist, it doesn't come out dry. If you overcook it, it's going to come out dry. And April says she don't like salmon. I love salmon. I could eat it probably every meal if I had it. Yeah, like I said, it was years ago that I came across that whole salmon at such a good deal that I couldn't resist. And I've not seen it priced like that again since. Well, see, I love fish, April. I even like the shad, which has a real fishy taste. But I like that. I like the shad. I wish I had shad out here. Connie says I like lemon and dill on my salmon. Yeah, I put lemon on mine too sometimes, but I have this lemon pepper that you buy in the herb section, and I shake that on my salmon with onion powder and garlic powder and salt and pepper. It tastes real good when I get it cooked. I don't think I've tried dill on my salmon, but I have put the lemon. And sometimes I'll just slice lemon and lay the slices on the top of the salmon. April says it's too fishy. Well, it's fish, girl. What do you expect it to taste like? Get it in a can. Well, I buy salmon in a can occasionally. In fact, I got a can of it now, I think, that I make salmon patties with. Because I love salmon patties. If I can't afford to buy the salmon, I'll make me salmon patties. I'll buy me a $3 can of salmon and make salmon patties with it. Can you make a salmon salad like crab meat? I don't know. I guess you could. I've never made a salmon salad before. I love crab salad. I don't know if the salmon would hold together enough to make a salad with it. Because, it kind of flakes apart. Yeah, isn't that weird? Sometimes when you have something readily available to you in your area, it's something you don't even care for. Oh, I love to have crab to make crab cakes. I love crab cakes. Usually the crab, though, I can't afford to buy it. Both of your boys can cook anything, Karen? Well, that's good. Well, the last time I was at my son's house, he grilled out some New York strips, steak. Oh, that was the best steak I've eaten in forever. I teased him. I told him I have to learn his secret on cooking them because it was so good and tender. I love crab cakes. I love crab salad. I just love crabs. Because back where I'm from, you not only had the farms with the fresh vegetables and the fresh meat and all that stuff, you had the ocean right there. So you had all the fresh seafood you could handle. We'd go crabbing about once a week or so and have steamed clams, crabs, crab. And had all the fish we could possibly ever eat and gave so much fish away. We kept our neighbors stocked in fish. Because with that 50-foot gill net that we left out in the ocean 24/7, we pulled it in about every 12 hours or once a day, once every 24 hours. Because we pulled it in like once every day when my husband got home from work. Or we'd go there on the weekends and pull it in like in the mornings or noontime. It was always full of fish. We filled coolers with fish with that net. Like I said, we had fish fries on the beach. We gave fish away. We had a freezer on our sidewalk outside our house full of fish because we didn't have anywhere in the house to put it. It was one of those old drink boxes, soda boxes that you lift up the top. We just turned it down to where it kept everything frozen. And it made a real good freezer for the fish. Need an old-fashioned hog roast. Yeah, that sounds good, Grandma Teresa. I love old-fashioned hog roast. That's what my brothers did for my mom when she was still alive. Her last birthday, they roasted a hog on a big barbecue pit that was on the back of my brother's trailer, or it was built right on the trailer, so he could pull it and move it anywhere he wanted to. He put a whole half a hog on that thing. I'll tell you what, that was some good barbecue. Oh my gosh. But he did one with pineapple in it one year, and I don't think anybody liked it with the pineapple. We had our mouth watering for just some good old-fashioned hog barbecue on that pit. And he added pineapple because it was a luau for my mom. And I don't think anybody liked it with pineapple. I mean, it was good, but it would have been so much better if he'd have just left the pineapple off. Crewfish, I don't know what that is. Throw some potatoes in it. Well, we usually had fried potatoes, coleslaw, that type of thing with our hog when they roasted it on the pit like that. I made some pineapple salsa last year. I think I did it in a video. In fact, I think I still got some of it. Where's my pineapple salsa? I don't know if I got it or not. Yeah, I got the jar that I didn't. I had enough to fill up most of the jars, but this one didn't go quite to the top. But that's the only one I got left of my pineapple salsa that's canned. I need to take it out and eat it, because that was from last summer. Yeah, even though I don't grow pineapple, I made me some pineapple salsa. Oh no. All your Copper River salmon this year spoiled in transport from Alaska. They fly it here every year. Oh man, that's a shame. That was a lot of spoiled salmon, I'm sure. Karen says I'll bring the apple. I know I gave jars of it. I gave one to my son and um, his stepdaughter and her husband last year, the pineapple salsa. And I kept a couple for myself, and that's the only one I got left. The one that didn't get quite full. But at the time, I put it in the smallest jar I had. Yes, it's so good when you can go to the ports and buy it just as that all that seafood comes in off the ship. My dad used to get his oysters like that. He'd buy a whole bushel at a time, bring them home, build a fire in the backyard and steam them until the shell's open and just eat them right out of the shell. I couldn't handle it. I could eat them if they were fried. I just don't want them steamed. Now I love them, the little bitty oysters in an oyster stew, but usually they're cooked real firm. I can handle them like that. Well, see, around my hometown, it's Port City. Wilmington's the port city. Those ships will come in with all kind of seafood. And usually when the ship's coming in and unloading, if they have any available, you can buy it right off the ship. Some of it comes in as orders already, for stores and restaurants. But if they have any that's available that's not already spoken for, you can buy it. Wilson stuck on neck bones and rice. You have an oyster farm? Yeah, I don't know of any oyster farms around where I'm from. I guess because oysters was so readily available coming in on the ships all the time. Fish, shrimp, oysters, you name it, any kind of seafood. My hair is tickling my neck. My hair that gets loose out of my little bun on top lays down on my neck and tickles me as I move my head. You're from Ohio in the country. Yeah, I like perch or bass, either one. I used to eat a lot of perch. Used to you could buy like long, I don't know if you've seen them, but they were about that long, they were about that thick, and about that wide, little boxes, frozen, of perch fillets. And you could buy one box, and that would feed two people easy. And it was frozen raw fish. You brought it home, you thawed it out, battered it, fried it, and it was just like eating it fresh out of the river. But you don't see it anymore. I've looked for it. I don't see it in any stores, especially not out here. They don't sell perch in those little boxes anymore. Yeah, cod you can get, I'm sure, but this was actual perch. Patty says she can't wait to move to Wilmington near my youngest daughter and eat endless fish. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You get the best seafood around that area. Oh my God. The restaurants on Oak Island when we lived out there before we came to Texas. Oh my God. We went out to eat in a restaurant once a week, usually every Friday. There was a Jones's restaurant out on the island where we lived. And we'd get seafood every week there. And it was so good. Oh my God. Well, years ago, that is the only kind of fish that I ate frozen was the perch that were in the little boxes that you could get. They were about the size of a spaghetti box, not quite as long, but you had probably 5 or 6 little fillets in there because it was packed in there. And it was raw fish, just frozen. It was so good, but I have not seen it in years. I don't know why they stopped selling it like that. Or maybe it was just something you could get in North Carolina. Maybe they don't have it available here. Now, I eat frozen fish because, like I said, when we lived at the beach, brought in that net all the time, we kept freezers full of fish. So we ate frozen fish when, we weren't out getting the fish in. And we salted down fish. We'd take 5-gallon buckets and put salt in it and then start layering fish and salt. And that preserves your fish. And usually it was the spots. That's what the name of those fish were, spots, that you'd put in the salt to keep them. April says I like cheesecake better. I like cheesecake too. I want my fish, but I can eat cheesecake. I don't think I've ever had sunfish. Can you even eat a sunfish? I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to do that, Patty, sometime when I'm in North Carolina, since Wilmington is just 20 miles away. We'll have to make a date and go out to a restaurant and eat some fried oysters or something. Because I guarantee you, if I go to North Carolina, unless it's an emergency and I can't choose the time I go, I'm going to go the time of year or the month that I can eat oysters. That's what I did last time when I could plan my vacation when I went home. I made sure the month had an R in it, so I knew the restaurants had oysters available. Somebody told me, well, now you need oysters any time of the year, but I said, well, years ago when I lived at home, the restaurants didn't even have fresh oysters unless it was a month that had an R in it. The other months, you couldn't get them. That sounds good, Connie. Strawberry cheesecake cookies. I've never had strawberry cheesecake cookies, but it sounds good. Waffles and butter. Waffles and butter are good too, Wilson. I have to shop today. I'm getting cream cheese now. I'm going to just take bites of cream cheese and love it. I need to make a cheesecake, I guess, because they're expensive when you go buy one. I mean, you just buy one little slice of a cheesecake and pay $3 or $4 for it. I don't even know if you can get it that cheap. I know the last time I looked, it was so expensive, I didn't even buy a slice of cheesecake because it cost too much. Oh, me. April said that's why I just eat the cream cheese. It's a lot cheaper. Well, you can make your own and it'd be cheaper. A lot cheaper than you can buy one already made. Oh, a banana split sounds good. It's been years since I've had a banana split. I used to eat a couple of banana splits a week when I was pregnant before my son was born. We lived out on Oak Island. Sometimes at lunch we had this shop right down at the end of the street. I'd get out there and walk down the street, get me a big old banana split for lunch. I don't know why I crave banana splits and pizza when I was pregnant with my son. That's all I wanted to eat. Sunfish is good. I don't think I've ever had sunfish. Yeah, did somebody say banana split? Let's go get us a banana split. I don't even know how much a banana split costs today. Probably more than what I'd want to pay for one. That central air is blowing again, so it's making me cough. Does anybody know how much a banana split costs today? It's been so long since I've gotten one, I don't even know how much they cost. Hot fudge sundaes with pickles on it. I can't imagine, Connie. That's a weird combination. But then pizza and banana splits are a weird combination. But I didn't eat them together. You know, I'd either get the banana split or I'd get a pizza. A banana split $7 where Patty C is. Yeah, I don't know how much they are here. Let me see if I can bring up a menu on one of the restaurants. Let's see if I can bring up some prices. I'm curious. I worked at Brahms for a while and I don't even know how much they charged for one. Well, it brought everything but what I'm looking for. If I didn't have to go through the act of Congress trying to bring up the price on it. Why is it when you do a search for something, it brings up everything but what you want? Now it's bringing up other countries. I don't want another country. I want Texas. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Let's see if I can go over here. Or a hot fudge sundae. Wilson says around $3. I bet you can't get a banana split for $3. You probably couldn't even pay for the toppings with $3. Let's see if I can bring up a menu with a price on it. I don't want to start an order. I want to see what it costs. Oh my gosh. Why does it bring up everything except what you want to see? I don't want to bring up here prices. Let's see what this one brings up. It says $4 to $6 per serving. And it can vary on the size because there's different sizes of banana splits. This is at Dairy Queen. Let's see. Oh my God. More like probably $6 or $7 when you actually go to buy it. Why doesn't it just bring up a menu for you to look at? Why does it always have to make you want to start an order before you know what you're going to be spending? Well, I'm tired of looking because it's not showing me anything I want to see. Cecilia says $3.25 for a milkshake at Brahms. Yeah, usually it's about $3 or $4 for a shake out here, depending on what size you get. And then if you go to, depending on where you get it, if you get the Blizzard, it's like $5 or $6. No, Sonic doesn't have them anymore. No, we don't have a United Dairy Farmer store. We got Aldi, H-E-B, Kroger, Brookshire's, Walmart Supercenter, and then we've got Brahms and Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen's Coney dogs are $8. Yeah, I don't doubt it. You could buy a whole package of Coney dogs for that and make your own probably. Yeah, they want you to place an order to be able to see the menu. Or you order stuff and then you don't know what it costs until you get to the end to pay. And I hate that. I want to know what I'm going to be spending before I get to the pay for it part. And there's Frida Cassidy. Hi, Frida. Okay, Diana said you may have to go again, and you'll get another call probably again. Yeah, I just buy a box of ice cream and buy me a banana and keep a thing of chocolate syrup here and make my own. It's a lot cheaper. You can make 5 or 6 banana splits for what you pay for one at Brahms or any of these places. Yeah, I've got a can that I bought a couple of weeks ago thinking I really wanted me some salmon, and then I ended up buying a little salmon, a fresh salmon fillet, and I cooked that. For that video, and I haven't opened the can of salmon yet. But I will, because I'm going to make some salmon patties with it. Dairy Queen's banana splits are $5.25. Oh my God, Connie, I'd be there the rest of my life trying to make ice cream if I did that. I've never tried to make ice cream before. I usually buy Walmart's Great Value ice cream, because you can get, a carton of it for like $3. Versus the tubs for like $6 or $7. And what I like about Walmart's Great Value ice cream, it's not as fattening as some of the others. Kroger has theirs on sale for $2.50. I might have to go to Kroger. That central air is blowing that air right up in my face, and it's making me cough my head off. That's how bad the pollen is today. Really, Connie? I've never heard of anybody making ice cream that way. But I guess if you know what you're doing, you can do it. I wouldn't know what I was doing with the cans. How do you turn the can on the inside? Yeah, but that'd be a lot of... How do you twist it with your hands? I mean, that'd be kind of hard to do. Yeah, I've never made ice cream. I think my grandparents did one time. Seemed like I remember being at their house years and years and years ago. I was just a little thing. It seemed like they had made ice cream one time. Good gracious, y'all. It needs to rain to clean the air out. So I don't cough as bad. You know, buy your own cones and have more to eat. I don't have nowhere in my freezer to put ice cream, though. If I went and got ice cream, it would have to be something like a banana split or an ice cream cone or something small that I could eat right then. Because I don't have any freezer space to put it. There's Jana Jacob. Hello, Jana. Been raining? Oh, goodness. We need rain here. Send me some. That sounds interesting, Connie. Make your own ice cream cones. I don't know what kind of ice cream that is, April. I can't even pronounce it. Well, I've got a video on it, Diana, on pineapple salsa. I did a video on it. I think it was last summer. You could probably go to my profile picture, and it'll bring up a whole list of my videos, and they're all in order. You'd have to go, keep scrolling down till you came to it, but it's there. Yeah, I've got a video on pineapple salsa. I got one on chow chow. I've got one on cowboy candy. And have an ice cream party, Grandma Teresa. That sounds good. How about making baby back ribs? That sounds good too. Share the fun. Yeah, but see, that would be a lot to do just for me to have an ice cream cone because I don't have anywhere to store the ice cream. I don't have anywhere to store the cones. So, I might eat less ice cream if I had to make a cone every time I ate an ice cream cone, though. Of course, I don't eat a lot of ice cream anyway. You buy the bananas. I still got sheets out on my clothesline I got to get in. And my bedspread's still hanging out there. But I got sheets on my bed because I got extra sets, When I strip the beds, I put clean sheets on and I wash the other ones and kind of rotate them around. I love ice cream sandwiches, Wilson. I buy those sometimes. I buy the ice cream sandwiches, and sometimes I get ice cream cones, the Nutty Buddies or whatever you call them. And sometimes I just buy the carton of ice cream. Depends on if I got room in the freezer. I don't have any room right now. Klondike bars are real good. Karen, you leaving us? Well, if you are, you have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow and a blessed week. Till we see you again. Don't take any wooden nickels. I hardly ever get Bluebell because usually it costs so much more than the Great Value brand. And I'm so used to eating Great Value because it's lower in calories and stuff. Because I was growing up, my mom bought what they called ice milk. I guess because everybody was allergic to milk. All the the cream or whatever's in the milk that we couldn't have. I grew up eating that type, so that's what I like. I buy the other kind. I can only eat a couple of spoonfuls before I'm done. It's too rich. I mean, it's good, but it's too rich. And I guess that's the whole idea of them making it that rich is so you don't eat lots of it. HEB has it in buckets of ice cream. There's several stores that has it in buckets, Wilson. I don't know, Grandma Teresa. We've had a pretty broad variety of topics, huh? Hogs, frogs, octopus, ice cream, fish. What next? There's no telling. My grandparents used to burn stuff in their backyard. I still do. I mean, in my fire pit, I burn my tree limbs, brush, stuff like that. I mean, I don't burn trash, not stuff that normally you throw away for the guys to pick up each week. But I do. Sometimes if I had several cardboard boxes, stuff like that, I put them in the fire pit and burn them. I don't put them in the garbage because all that just takes up space in the truck. You only have the HEB and Walmart here in San Antonio. And we've got a lot of stores up here where I'm at. Aldi, HEB, Kroger, Brookshire's, David's. And of course now General Dollars have frozen food as well as canned food. We have a meat market where you can buy fresh meat, or butcher store, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the name of it. Or we did have if they haven't closed it. I hardly ever go there because a lot of times the meat is a little bit more expensive in there. I mean, it might be better, but I don't know. Well, I do probably 95% of my shopping for groceries in Walmart, in the supercenter. Like I said, sometimes my steaks that I get rarely, whenever I can afford them, or my salmon I get in places like Aldi or some of the other stores because they have better prices and it looks like a better quality of meat. You have a Save-A-Lot. Seemed like I remember receiving a Save-A-Lot. I don't know if it was in North Carolina. Evidently, it might have been. Maybe they had one back there somewhere that I saw. I know they still have Piggly Wiggly. That was my mom's favorite place to go until the Super Walmart opened in Wilmington. And then when she could get down there, she'd go to the Super Walmart to buy groceries. Pork chops only $1.99 a pound. They did it straight up in the backyard, and it was not in a fire pit. They burned bills and all mail that was not important. Yeah, a lot of times I throw stuff like that in my fire pit with my brush and, stuff like that to burn. But I don't burn actual garbage stuff that you normally throw away and the garbage guy picks up. I don't burn that kind of stuff. But I said if everybody burnt the limbs and the brush and the leaves and papers and stuff like that instead of loading down the trash truck with it, the prices wouldn't keep going up so much all the time. They wouldn't have so much garbage to haul. I did too, Janet. I burnt mine just on the ground until I've got up enough rocks around here that I made a fire pit with my rocks. And now my fire pit is big enough that I can burn small brush or tree limbs and stuff in it. Yeah, we usually have burn bans here. We don't have one right now. I guess we got enough rain off and on this summer that we haven't had burn bans. Or not recently. Dairy Queen has banana splits for $7. Yeah, that sounds about right, Diana. That's probably what they are here too. Dairy Queen probably sells them for about $7. I know, I do too, April. I like just sitting beside the fire. Even if I don't roast a marshmallow, I like sitting beside the fire at night. You used to have Albertson Kroger before they left. I'm surprised you don't have all of those stores in San Antonio. I mean, San Antonio I thought was a pretty big place. Looks like they would have a lot of different grocery stores there. Dennis says, boy, I'm fast today. Just realized you were on. Well, usually if something don't happen, I'm live every Sunday at 3 o'clock. And Thursday at 7. The other times, they're just pop-up lives if I go live. But usually I do have a 7 o'clock Thursday and a 3 o'clock on Sunday. Unless I have other plans and I have to change the time on Sunday. Like if I'm going to my son's house that Sunday for something, I usually change the time because I'm not going to be home at 3 o'clock to have a live. Okay, Grandma Teresa, we'll see you next time. Have a good night, blessed day tomorrow, and a safe and blessed week. Kroger Food Line, Publix, Lowe's Food are the ones here. I didn't know Lowe's had a food store. Your sound was off, so you didn't know you got notified. Lowe's used to be IGA. I didn't know that. I had no idea. See there, no matter how old you are, you learn something every day. We have a whole bunch of Lowe's food stores in Mexico. Wow. I never heard of a Lowe's food store. Well, we have a produce section in Walmart Supercenter, but they don't have a separate fresh market. It's all combined with the food section here. And they have fresh fish too. You know, they have the one area in the back of the store where they fry fish and not fish, but they fry chicken and stuff like that, and you can buy it hot. And then they have a cold section where they have fish, fresh fish, so you can buy your fish fresh, the fish market. And then they have the produce in front of that, where you can buy all your fresh vegetables and stuff. Used to be called IGA years ago. I remember the IGA stores, but I didn't know that that is what changed to Lowe's. I've never heard of Hitchcock's Best either. Or Hitchcock's. I've never heard of a store named that. Oh, wow. See? I learn something every day, y'all. But it's gone now, huh? You have a store named Seafood City. I can imagine in Hawaii you would have a lot of Seafood City stores. HEB has a good seafood section in their store where you buy fresh seafood, but it's a little pricey. Too much seafood for you? Janice said IGA is in the country here. Yeah, seafood, I'd be there quite often too. Yeah, we don't have a Food Line or Ingles, but we do have Aldi here. And I go to Aldi's every once in a while. Because they have good prices on some stuff. Janice said she has an Aldi too. Y'all don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I've had over 50 people watching. I got 39 thumbs up. But that's pretty good compared to what I used to get because everybody always forgot to hit the thumbs up. Oh my God, we've been on here for over 2 hours already. I didn't know that, y'all. And little buddy's scratching at the door. He's wanting his dinner. Let me go get a cup of food for him to put out there in his bowl before he scratches a hole in my door. Go feed him and Little Lucky before they go crazy out there. Come on. Get over here to yours. Over here. You going out now? Lucky's out there eating his. You know where little buddy is? Right here at my feet. Because he wants he wants treats. He didn't want food, he wants treats. There you go. Spoiled kitty. Little buddy's spoiled. He knows if he comes in, there's a good chance I'll give him treats. So he comes to the door and he'll scratch at the door till I open it, and then he'll come running in, looking up at me like as if to say, "Where's my treats? Where's my treats?" Janice says, "Does anybody remember Big Star?" What is a Big Star? Is that a food store or something? Yep, time flies when you're having fun. And when I get in my lives chatting with everybody, the time just flies by. Oh, is Big Star a racetrack or something? You buy your eggs from a farm there, April. I've been pretty much resting today too. But man, I got to get with it tomorrow. I got to water stuff. I got 5 pots of mums to plant somewhere. I've got that raised bed greenhouse I've got to get dirt in so I can get something planted in it. But I'm not sure exactly where I want to put it yet. My yard is getting so full. Oh, okay. Big Star is a horse race. A racetrack. Big Star in Florida gave out horse racing tickets to watch and win on TV. Big Star Wars is a grocery store. Okay. We don't have a Big Star here. You just got to go get more food to keep you going. Evidently, it's a racetrack, Connie. I had never heard of Big Star. He said the grocery store there gave away tickets to watch the races and win on TV. So Big Star is a no, I'm confused. Maybe Big Star is a store. It's a grocery store maybe that gave away. Yeah, Big Star was a grocery store, Dennis says. They gave away tickets to watch the races so you could win when you were watching them. It seemed like I remember Let's Go to the Races, but I don't think I ever watched it. The closest racetrack we have here is for horses is Weatherford. They got a racetrack over there, I'm told. I remember S&H green stamps because I saved them. I got tons of stuff with S&H green stamps. Lord knows you could get appliances, coats, grills, all kind of stuff with those food stamps. Dishes, pots and pans. I loved the green stamps. I hated it when they did away with green stamps. You know, some of the women I've just talked to about during the war and the rationing of everything, they didn't know what I was talking about. They act like, well, there was no rationing in Texas. But if you lived in a big city like New York, probably Washington, big cities, they had rationing. And if you didn't have a place where you could grow your own vegetables and stuff, you suffered when it came to food. Because it's like Connie said, they gave you out food stamps, rationing stamps. And that was the only way you could buy things. You'd have a stamp to buy your coffee, a stamp to buy your bread, and you're only allowed to buy what that stamp would buy for you. I bet that book is worth some money today, Connie. I would think it would be. Because a lot of people today have never heard of rationing stamps. I know my mom told me when she was growing up, you know, it was bad because if you didn't have a stamp, you couldn't buy that item. I love saving green stamps because I knew I could get some good stuff with it. I think I got my first barbecue grill with green stamps. I got my first electric skillet with green stamps. Lord, I don't even know the different things I bought with green stamps or got with green stamps. I didn't buy them, but I saved up enough stamps to get them. Sugar, 5 pounds of coffee. No, sugar, 5 pounds, coffee, 1 small can once a month. Only flour, 5 pounds, toilet paper, 4 rolls only. It was CR. Yeah, see, I mean, 4 rolls of toilet tissue is not going to go very far for a month. I mean, you could use those up in the first week you had them. And a pound of coffee or a can of coffee, I don't know how much was in it, but 1 small can of coffee doesn't last very long. We used to have an A&P back home. We don't have an A&P store anymore. And I've never seen one out here. Okay, Diana, we're glad to have you back. You also had pantry pride, Dennis says. Yeah, I remember my mom and my grandmother telling me that during that time, during war times and shortly after the Depression era, you could only buy stuff at the store that you had those rationing stamps to get and the quantity that they told you could get. And that was it. Yeah, isn't that something? The 8 ounces of coffee. Can you imagine how long that lasted for a whole family? I mean, if you had coffee drinkers in the family, they suffered. I mean, 8 ounces of coffee for me would last a long time because I like my coffee weak. I don't like it strong. Now, little buddy's laying down at my feet here on the floor where it's cool. Yeah, and the other food items were the same way, like eggs, like canned foods, boxed foods, if they had any. I'm sure they were limited on everything they could buy at the grocery store. And I remember you couldn't get buttons for anything because all the buttons went to the service people for their uniforms and stuff like that. All the metal that they made buttons out of went to the military to make ammunition and stuff. So there was rationing not only on food, you couldn't buy buttons for anything back then. Yours was $7 because you had them to add nuts. Yeah, everything you add to your banana split or your pizza is usually a dollar or so more. No toilet. Did we already say Piggly Wiggly? I got here late. Yeah, we already said Piggly Wiggly because there's still a Piggly Wiggly in Burgaw, North Carolina, where my mom used to shop before they put the Walmart Supercenter in Wilmington. And then when they opened the Supercenter in Wilmington, my mom started going there when she could get there. Had time to go to buy the groceries. Because they had a bigger selection and some items were a little cheaper at Walmart Supercenter than they were Piggly Wiggly. But for years and years, my mom went to Burgaw to Piggly Wiggly. That's where she bought groceries every week. All the medals people had, silver, gold, the people had to give up for the war effort. People hid their stuff in coffee cans. Yeah, I can imagine. Wonder if there's any cans that were buried that were never retrieved. There still might be buried cans with jewelry and stuff in it. I like Jell-O, but it's been a while since I've made Jell-O. I've been wanting to make a Jell-O cake, but I don't want to make a whole cake just for me. I guess I could make a miniature cake, like a half a cake, and make a Jell-O cake, maybe. That's an idea. I might be able to make a half a cake. Yeah, I like all the flavors of Jell-O, April. You found pennies and silver coins that your grandparents buried? I'd be digging up the backyard. I'm not making it today, Wilson. I'm not cooking today. I ate one of my little individual quiches for breakfast this morning with my coffee. And then I ate a small bowl of rice and beef teriyaki stir fry that I made that I had left. And I got one more bowl of it left. I'll eat that either tonight or tomorrow or sometime. I don't know. But I don't want to have to cook today. I'm tired of cooking for one day. 3 cooking videos in one day. That's a lot, y'all. And that's what I did yesterday. I just posted one of them today. Or did I post the beef teriyaki? I don't know. I don't know what I posted and what I haven't. I got so tired. See which one I posted. No, I haven't posted it yet. I posted mini fruit pies, and I posted the cowboy mini quiche. I haven't posted the Mandarin beef teriyaki stir fry yet. Maybe I'll post that in the morning. But that's what have eaten today for lunch, and I've got another bowl of it that I can eat either for dinner tonight or eat it tomorrow. Fix something else for dinner. But if we fix something else, it may be just a sandwich because I don't want to cook. I spent all day yesterday cooking and doing them videos. I don't want to cook anymore. At least not today. Linda, I'm loving your videos. I found my uncle's wooden leg after he died. Got shot off in the World War II. Oh my goodness, where did you find it at? His real leg was shot and amputated. Oh wow. That sounds real good, April. A banana smoothie or cherry smoothie with banana. Well, I'm glad you love my videos, April. I need lots of people like you to love my videos. Pretty cool you still have it. Frozen cherries. Well, I've got watermelon frozen that I can put in a smoothie, but I don't know. I don't think I got any other fruit right now to put in one. You want to go out, little buddy? Let me out. Let you out. Let me let you out. You done eat all your treats. He comes in one door to get his treats, and when he eats them, he goes out the other door. Have you ever seen a cat like that? It's just like a regular routine. He comes in this door, goes out that one. And chocolate protein powder. That sounds like a real good smoothie. Well, that smoothie I made out of the watermelon and fruit with a little bit of vanilla extract in it. Oh, that is so good, but I don't have all that fruit right now. I got frozen watermelon that I can put in it because I froze some, just to put in a smoothie. Cherries are expensive. I think I got a little handful of dried cherries, but I don't have fresh cherries. Typical cat. Come in one door and out the other. I still got 35 watching, y'all. Frozen watermelon is good soaked in vodka. I don't drink alcohol, Dennis. No, Lucky was waiting at the door, but I put food in his bowl and he's out there eating his food in the bowl. He didn't come in to get treats. He hasn't learned that yet. I give him treats though once in a while. I'll just put them out there in his bowl for him. But little Buddy has learned he can scratch on the door, and when he comes in, I usually give him a handful of treats when he comes in. And then he's out the back door when he's finished. Lucky hasn't learned that yet. He's probably wondering, well, where is he going? My food's out here. Yeah, but like I said, I put food in both their bowls out on the porch, but little Buddy came in. Lucky's out there eating his in the bowl. But like I said, little Buddy has learned if he comes in and just hangs around me for a minute or two, I'm going to give him treats. And then he'll eat them and he goes out the back door. He'll do it every time. And other times when I open the door, he waits until I put stuff in the bowl. It just depends on if he thinks about he wants treats, you know. If he wants his treats, he'll come in. Notice I'm the one that knows about gout. My brother's bothered with that. Next to my oldest brother, he's like a year or so, about a year older than me. He's bothered with gout a lot. Makes you do the watermelon crawl. Lucky's tricking, but yeah, because I can put food in both of those bowls, and if little Buddy doesn't go there to eat his food, Lucky will eat his food and then he'll go finish out little Buddy's bowl. I've seen him do it. Or even if I put their food out and they're both eating out of their own bowl, and if little Buddy doesn't eat all his and he walks off, as soon as Lucky finishes his food, he'll go right over there and eat the rest of little Buddy's. Because Lucky will eat a lot more than little Buddy does, believe it or not. I guess because he's still a kid. He's a teenager. He's a teenage kitty. That sounds real good, Dennis. Crushed pineapple and cream cheese on a white bread. My pineapple salsa, I think I used canned crushed pineapple when I made it. That's the reason I didn't make a ton of it. I only made a few jars. And I gave my son a jar of it and his stepdaughter and her husband a jar of it for Christmas last year with the other stuff I gave them. And I don't know if he ever ate his or not. He hasn't said anything about it. But I don't remember all the ingredients offhand. You'll have to watch that video to, get the ingredients. Well, I always feed them outside on the porch. In the morning, they're hanging around the front porch waiting for me to come out and give them breakfast. And they both eat right there on the porch. But like I said, sometimes in between meals, little Buddy's learned he can scratch on the door. He'll come in, and then he looks up at me like, okay, where's my treat? And I'll give him some treats, and then he goes out the back door. Chicken livers wrapped in bacon is best. I've never tried chicken livers wrapped in bacon, but it sounds good. Yeah, I know. It's caused from, I think, stuff that you eat, the type of diet you eat. And I guess everything my brother eats puts uric acid in his body. I don't know. April says, I'm going to fix lunch. Got to see what I got. But to my knowledge, my brother, that's a year older than me, I think, to my knowledge, he's the only one in the family that's bothered with gout. Well, now that's one of my brothers that does not drink alcohol. So his gout is not caused by alcohol. Because to my knowledge, he's never even drank beer. Yeah, like I said, he's never drank alcohol, Dennis. He doesn't drink. Now my two younger brothers, they drink beer occasionally. They don't get drunk or nothing, but they do drink beer occasionally. Not every day. But if they go to a cookout or something like that, they'll drink a beer. But Donnie, the one that has the gout, I don't think he's ever drank. Oh wow, that's terrible, Dennis. I hate to hear that. You're gonna have quinoa, black beans, and chard for. That's unusual. I mean, I've never had that combination, but it sounds like it might be good, healthy. Yeah, it gets in his joints and seems like he swells up with it. Well, I don't know what he consumes that caused his, because he doesn't drink alcohol. To my knowledge, he doesn't eat any more sugar than normal people. So now he may eat my wild meats because they do have, they go deer hunting back home and do get wild game, but he eats just as much regular game as he does wild game. So I don't know. I think it's like everybody else. It just depends on the person, and it probably wouldn't matter what you ate or what you did. You're still going to have it. Last comment is for what that cause gout flare-ups caused by meats, wild game, high fructose sweeteners, and sugary drinks, and alcohol because alcohol is high in sugar. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think my older brother has ever been bothered with gout. If he has, he's never mentioned it. My younger brothers have not been bothered by it. Oh, I see, April. Quinoa. Is that like a rice, or what is it? What form do you eat of it? Your husband has it? Okay, like a rice. Yeah, what you mentioned sounds good. I eat red beans and rice sometimes. I like it. I like just about any kind of rice. I like the brown rice. I eat a lot of rice. I probably eat more rice than, well, I can't say I eat more rice than potatoes. Probably equal of each one. Me too, April. I eat cheap. Even though I got freezers full of food, I don't get it all out and cook it all up and waste it all. I sparingly cook it to make it last. It's just something that's instilled in me, I guess. Oh, I love shrimp in anything. Shrimp and pasta, shrimp and rice. I could eat it all day. Yeah, that's the way it is. A lot of times when you know you shouldn't eat something, you eat it anyway because you like it. And then usually you have to pay the consequences later. Your grandparents ate squirrel in rice and gravy. Well, we never fixed a gravy with our squirrel, but we did cook squirrel in rice. So the squirrel and rice was cooked together. So the squirrel flavored the rice when you ate it, but it wasn't like a gravy. My arthritis, I don't know. I can work in the yard all day and I pay for it with my arthritis because I start aching. But then I take ibuprofen and I'm okay. Sometimes I think you're going to hurt even if you move. It don't matter what you do. I know the doctor told me to go like this with my hands and it would help the arthritis in my hands. Keep my hands from getting so stiff. Like my knuckles right here are so stiff I can't hardly bend my fingers right now. I can't really close them to my hand like you can normally. Because it feels like the joint is in a bind. Because it's arthritis in them. Okay, Diana. We'll see you next time. Have a blessed night, blessed day tomorrow, and a blessed week. Stay safe. I've always eat cheap, April. Once in a long while, if I can afford it, I'll splurge and get a steak or something. Or a salmon. A real salmon, not one in the can. But I don't do it every week. It don't make any sounds when I move my fingers. Yeah, cheaper is more healthy. Because you don't get all the preservatives and stuff and a lot of stuff if you eat cheap. Yep, that's what a lot of my diet is, April. Beans, rice, veggies, eggs, uh, fresh food, like meat. Now, I do have frozen meat and I will eat it, but it's not like processed meat. It's like fresh frozen, like chicken breast or the whole chicken or something like that. It doesn't have a lot of preservatives and stuff in it. Your feet make popping sounds. No, you didn't run anybody off, Dennis. They just have things to do. It's Sunday evening, so Some people have to cook dinner for their family. You know, there's things I got to take care of. Oh me, I sit here and got sleepy. Woo. But I've drank 2 cups of coffee today. I don't need to drink any more coffee. Oh, y'all, I found me some pumpkin spice coffee creamer. It is so good when you put it in your coffee. Oh, I got another cat out there howling. Probably some stray cat coming in to get food. Get away. I brought their bowls in. Because there's a gray cat that's been coming up out here, and he tries to fight with Lucky and Little Buddy if I leave any food out on that porch. So usually I feed the 2 cats, and then about an hour later I'll go out there and check, and if the bowls have any food left in them, I can leave the bowls out there. But if the food is still in the bowls, I'll bring them in so that stray cat doesn't come over here. Because he'll come over here and he'll fight Little Buddy and Lucky to get the food. That's what he was fixing to do. So he'll leave now since there's no food out there. You did not see a roach crawling on the counter behind me. I don't have roaches. He thinks if he goes in the car, he's being sneaky and nobody knows what he's eating, Connie. He shouldn't leave evidence in the car, huh? And Dennis says, I don't have my grandkids today. My grandson broke his ankle and he's at the ER. Oh no, I don't even know what happened yet. Oh my goodness. Sorry to hear that. I hope he's okay. Hi Pam, welcome. Yeah, that's what we talked about when we first came in the live. Because I had just found out about it. My son texted me and I turned the news on and I heard that there was shots fired at the golf course where Trump was. And the security people rushed him off the field or the green, and they shot at the shooter. Evidently they didn't shoot him, but they did apprehend him from what I understand. And Trump was not shot, but he was shot at evidently. Dennis, I know you're joking. I don't have roaches. Yeah, evidently there's roaches on Wilson's phone. I don't have roaches in my house. Hi, Betty Blue. Yeah, he's got a garbage bag in there, but he hides it. He don't hide it well enough, does he, Connie? Yeah, Secret Service guys were on the ball. And you know, Kennedy, they said Kennedy, in that announcement about Trump, that Kennedy has hired extra security for himself. And he started backing Trump now. I tell you, there's some higher ups that don't want Trump back in office. That'll spoil all their plans. You notice there hasn't been an attempt on Harris. can't stand to hear Kennedy talk. Well, I've never heard him talk much. And I heard President Kennedy talk some, on TV when I was a little girl growing up when he was first elected, but before they shot him. They do have I don't know, it's not weird, it's just kind of odd sound to their voices for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's hard to put your finger on it. Yes, we do. Because any of the good leaders up there are the ones they're after. They're not after the ones that are up to all this no good stuff. What do you think Biden would do, or how he'd feel if he wasn't president, he didn't have the money that he's got? Say he was a poor man with a family, and he couldn't afford to make enough money to feed his family and pay his bills, and he went into the food stamp office to apply for food stamps, and they told him he didn't qualify because he wasn't Mexican or he wasn't a foreign nationality. He's American, so therefore, and he's white, he's Caucasian, so he doesn't qualify for food stamps. Wonder how he'd feel. He'd feel like an idiot for letting them all come in here and doing what they're doing. Well, glad you could come in, Donna. I'm surprised we're still on. I've thought about ending the live, but then I keep getting new people coming in. And I hate to end the live when new people pop in, It's like the minute they get in here, you don't want to just cut them off. Well, they'd never relate to us, Connie. They'd never relate to poor people or average people because they've got so much they don't know what to do with it all. But the only problem is they keep wanting more. They never will relate. They couldn't relate because they've never been in that situation. You have to actually be in that type of situation to relate to a poor person, and what they go through with. He'd have to actually be a man that's got a family to feed with little kids and he can't afford to put food on the table. He can't relate to that. He's never been in that situation. And he never will. He's too busy robbing from everybody else. Taking deals from China. Yeah, he doesn't care what this open border is doing to the country because it doesn't affect him. Exactly, Connie. We don't have enough housing for these people. So why are they letting 300 million come into the country when you don't have nowhere to put them? They need to move in with her. They need all of these aliens, they need to bust them right to her front door and let them live with her. I mean, the way I talk sometimes, it sounds like I have something against these people coming in from another country. I don't have anything against these people. But they're coming in illegally, and the government's letting them do it. If they come in legally, it'd be a lot different because they couldn't come in the way they're doing. A lot of them probably would not even be allowed into this country if they had to go through the legal channels to be a citizen. You had to put 2 cups of sugar in your gallon of sweet tea. She's a joke. It's like Trump said in that debate. You've been in office for 3.5 years. Why didn't you do some of all the stuff that you want to do? Hasn't done anything except let the illegals in. Open the border. Let everybody from every country just come through. That's one reason we got a water shortage here in this community. We've got too many people moving into this community too fast, and the water company can't supply the water fast enough. And if they double their capacity to pump and purify water, you know what's going to happen. The water bills are going to be raised. I pay around $100 a month now for water. It's ridiculous. And then I still have to be rationed to watering once a week unless I can save my water in my totes and my 32-gallon containers like I do to water with a bucket the other time. Yeah, there's a lot of them that would not be allowed into this country if they had to go through legal channels to be a citizen. They would be turned away because a lot of them are criminals. Not all of them, but there's a lot of criminals coming into this country. And they're letting them in. They're not checking their backgrounds. They're not checking their criminal history. They're not checking anything on them. They're just letting them in. You know, these drug lords have got people coming across the border just to sell drugs. Just to be front men to deal drugs in the United States. She ain't gonna change nothing. It's just a bunch of words. It sounds good. She ain't gonna do nothing. Well, you know, I'd pay a lot more if I didn't ration my own water. And it's just me. I'm one person that lives here. So I use less water than a family of 5 people. You know, you go through 5 showers or baths a day. You go through enough dishes, you know, that it takes to wash dishes for 5 people. You go through the water it takes to do the cooking, cleaning the house. That's a lot more water than I use a month. That's the only reason my bill is around $100 a month. I'd love to have my own well down so I could pump my own water, but we're not allowed here. I own my property, but I don't own the water and mineral rights here. When this subdivision was first built, the water and mineral rights were sold to some company when they first put it in. So nobody in this whole development owns water or mineral rights. So you cannot put down your own water pump, your water well. I got a friend that did. They said they own their property and they're putting a well down. And by God, they put a well down. And they pumped their own water the whole time they lived here. Never paid a water bill. And nobody did nothing about it. But God knows I don't have any idea what it cost them to put that well down. Exactly. If they wanted more money, they just printed more. Well, you got to have something to back that paper up with. $27 every 2 months. Well, that's a pretty good deal. I wish my water bill was $27 a month every other month. I need to be grateful our water bill's $48 per month. Yeah. Our flat rate alone is about $60-some a month, whether you use water or not. Yeah, it's always good to have your own pump and well. You have the expense of your pump because eventually your pump's going to wear out and you'll have to buy a new pump. But I sometimes think that's a whole lot cheaper than paying a water bill every month. You know, it's just like the electric bill. You pay a flat fee every month whether you use any electricity or not. You're always going to pay that flat fee. The water's the same way. That water company is going to get their flat fee whether you use a gallon of water or not. Now, see, my flat rate is probably more than $50 for my water. I'd have to look at my water bill. Let me go get it. Maybe I can find it right quick. I may be wrong about it. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but you got flat fees on your electric bill. You got flat fees on your water. And then you got your regular rate that they charge you every single month for trash pickup. Okay, the water base is $48.37. So you're going to pay that whether you use a drop of water or not every month. As long as your water's turned on, you're going to pay that flat fee. They charge you $28.92 for water usage, or that's what I got charged. Then some kind of docket fee of $14.62. You get a surcharge of, well, it's minus a surcharge of $6.51. And then Texas Commission Environ Quality or some kind of thing gets $1.08 of that. When it was all added up, my water bill was $109.08, which it does get a little bit more in the hot weather, you know, the 2 months that it's the hottest in the summer, because I use a little bit more water for the yard. But in the other months when I don't use it quite as much, you know, my water bill drops. Like last month it was $95. Before that it stays around $60 to $80 a month, which isn't too bad because there's some people paying $300 a month just for water. What is that gold round object above your front door? Oh, that's a fire alarm. It is a wireless fire alarm. And it has a burglar alarm chain to it that you hook to the door. So if the door is pulled open, the alarm goes off. But it's not battery operated either. You wind it up almost kind of like the old-timey clocks that you wind the clock up and it keeps charged until it runs down and then you have to wind it up again. Now I have a smoke detector here in the kitchen from that same company and it's round like that. And it is electric because it has a electric light in it or sensor that senses smoke in the air. I understand I live alone and my water bill is about $50. Yeah, mine would be probably $20 less, 25 or 30 less than it is if I didn't water so much of my garden. But hey, you can't have a garden growing and not in Texas and keep it alive and do my videos and stuff without keeping it watered. So I keep it watered. I think my trash pickup is now about $30 a month, and they only pick up once a week. But one of the companies got up so expensive one time, I canceled my service. I burned everything I could burn it trash-wise in my fire pit because I couldn't afford to pay their bill. And then another company come through and offered you a lower price, and I went with them, but it started out being $25 a month. Oh, we're not going to go up on you. That's the way it'll be. Well, I said, I know that's not true because eventually you'll have increases on yourself, and therefore you're going to pass it on to the customers, and it will go up. I know it will. So it started out at 25, and now it's 30 some. But we've got about 4 trash trucks that come through this community, and they tear the streets up something terrible. You know, those heavy trucks, especially going up and down the hills. And it'd be so nice to have just one service come through the community, so they just have one truck running. But you can't do that because if you have an agreement with one trash service and they say, well, we'll never go above this, we'll charge you this much for each resident, and that's all it'll ever be. Well, they can't do that because you go with one company, they're going to raise your rate after a while. You know they are. They're not going to stay the low price. Oh my God, Connie. Our trash pickup is every 2 weeks. We have smallest cans, and it is $150 per month. That's outrageous. Yeah, I bought, during that time, I tried not to buy anything that came in a can. It either had to be a burnable bag or some kind of a box that I could burn. The few cans that I got were crushed, and I saved to where I could take them somewhere where somebody else would pick them up. But usually I never got enough of cans to take anywhere. And what cans I did take, I used in my greenhouse to plant seeds in. And they're still out there in the greenhouse. So I said I only have one little bag of garbage every time they pick up. So it's really not worth it to me to pay that much a month just to have one little bag of garbage picked up. And I could do without service right now. But I said, just as sure as I cancel, I'll end up with some kind of items that I can't get rid of, and I'll need to put out in the garbage for those guys to pick up. So I paid the $30. Yeah, but you can't do that, Dennis. Your neighbors are not going to appreciate you putting your garbage in their cans. Yeah, I know. That's the reason I started putting holes in the bottom of the cans and using them as flower pots or pots that I could start seeds in. And I got a bunch of them in my greenhouse right now. I did get rid of a lot of them, though. After I started my service back, I got rid of them, a bunch of them. I've still got some of them. But used to, we paid like $12 a month. They picked up garbage twice a week. And they basically would pick up anything you put out there. I mean, old mattresses, furniture, you name it. If they could get it on that flatbed, they hauled it off for you. They don't do that now. I mean, the sanitation will pick up bigger items, but you have to call them and let them know that you got something big, and tell them what the item is so they're prepared to take it on the day they come to pick it up. Otherwise, they may not have room for it. Watch out for trash police. Well, it's funny you should say that, April, because I experienced it. It wasn't trash police, but this was during the time I was going to the cancer center in Fort Worth for my treatments every week. And I found I could go through the back alley through this little community and get there quicker and avoid a bunch of traffic on the interstate. So I'd cut through there. Well, they had a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit. So I always made sure I was going slower than that 40 miles an hour because I didn't want to get a speeding ticket going through there. And they did have speed bumps through there as well. And it just so happened I went through there one day, and it was on their trash day. All their trash cans were out on the curbs, because on the other times they have to keep them in their yard behind their privacy fences and stuff. Only on the trash day are you allowed to put your trash can out to the curb. So the curbs, the sidewalks were lined with garbage cans as you drove through. And all of a sudden, here comes this cop behind me. He pulls me over. And when he come up to my door, I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Am I doing something wrong?" He said, "Well, I noticed you're going awfully slow. This is trash day." He said, "We have people coming in here going slow to go through the trash." I guess if people put out items with their garbage that someone wants, I guess they picked it up. I have no idea. But I told him, I said, "I'm not interested in all in that garbage out there." I said, "You've got a speed limit going through here." I said, "I'm just abiding by your speed limit." Because he mentioned that I was going slow and that was trash day. He assumed I was looking at the garbage, seeing if there was anything I wanted. I said, "No." I said, "You do have a speed limit through here, and I'm trying to abide by your law and not get a ticket." And I told him where I was going. I said, "I cut through here because I avoid a lot of the interstate traffic going down 20. And I told him I was going to the cancer center for my weekly therapy session. So he let me go, and he went away. He didn't apologize, though. Man, I couldn't believe that. I've never went through people's garbage in my life before. Never. Yeah, if it's out on the curb, it's out for grabs. If you're throwing something away and it's out for grabs, if somebody puts a chair out there, somebody drives by and says, "Oh, well, that's a good-looking chair. They're throwing it away. I think I'll go pick it up." They go pick it up. There's nothing they can do about it. But maybe they'd had people going through and maybe pulling garbage out of the cans and maybe leaving it on the sidewalk or something like that. You know, making a mess and not putting it back. Just seeing if there was anything down in there they could, wanted. But not me. I was not interested in anybody's garbage. I told him, I said, if I was driving any faster, you'd get me for speeding. But I said, man, that surprised me. That was a new one on me. Stopping because you're abiding by the speed limit, thinking you're going too slow, and it's trash day, and you're looking at the trash. Well, my car wasn't stopped. What trash was I looking at? Yeah, well, this was not a movie star subdivision, April. This was like moderately poor people. All they had out there to be picked up was garbage, something you didn't want. That's cute, Dennis. Your grandkids got some good stuff from the dumpster now. They say they're dumpster divers. agree, though, some people do throw away good stuff. But you know, they got the money, they can afford to get rid of stuff that's in good condition, that's still good quality, that somebody could use. And I don't blame somebody if they go by and they see a good chair or a table or a cabinet or dresser or something like that that's in fantastic shape that's being thrown away. Why not pick it up? You're doing those people a favor to get rid of it. I put a chair out beside the street one time and I put free in the seat of it with the sign facing the street. I guess nobody wanted it. I ended up bringing it back in the yard. I got it pushed over into the fire pit and I burned it. I couldn't do anything else with it. I said, well, nobody wants it. I'm burning it. I had put an old couch out that it was a hide-a-bed, and it was real heavy. And I bought a new couch, so they had set the old couch outside. And one of the Mexicans that lived next door at the time, this was years ago, he wanted the couch, so I gave it to him. And it was the beatingest thing. He borrowed my wheelbarrow. He managed to get that couch up on that wheelbarrow, crossways the wheelbarrow, and he was pushing it down the street, going to his house around the corner. I don't see how he ever kept that couch up on that wheelbarrow. Well, a friend of mine in Lake Jackson tickled me. I was on the phone talking with him one time. And he had a big sectional couch that he needed to get rid of because his house had flooded. And he needed to get rid of that couch, but the trash service wouldn't pick up stuff like that down there, he said. And he said, I can't load it up myself and take it to the dump and then have to unload it because he's got a bad back. I told him, I said, well, if it's a sectional, bust it up and take it out and burn it. Burn a little bit of it at a time till it's all burnt. Even if it takes you a month, burn a little bit each time. He finally got rid of it. I don't know how he got rid of it. I don't know if he did burn it or managed to find somebody to haul it to the dump or what happened, but we had a guy here steal a garbage truck. Wow. Why would you want to steal a garbage truck? Unless he wanted to go in the garbage business. I can imagine those garbage trucks cost quite a bit of money. Those big ones. Yeah, years ago when we first moved here, when I was still married, you know, they only charged about $12 a month to pick up garbage. They picked up twice a week. And the gentleman that come through that picked up garbage, the two guys, he drove a pickup and a trailer pulled behind him. That's what they loaded the garbage up on. Now we got the great big actual trash trucks that come through. And they really destroy the streets. They break the streets up something awful. I put out free. They don't take. I learned to put out a value on it. And it disappears. That's how you do it. Put for sale, $50, and maybe they'll take it for free. He escaped work release. Yeah, put a chair out there and put $50 sign on it. Get up the next morning and look out there and it's gone. Somebody stole it because they thought it was worth $50. No, a $5 sign will do it. That's funny. Yeah, you got to play tricks on the brain with these people, I guess. Use psychology on them. You know, I was interested in psychology. I almost went into majoring in psychology. And my surgeon told me that I needed to go into computers because that's what the world was going to be run by. And this was before all these stores and companies put in all these computers everywhere. So I went and studied computers. That's what I got my degree in, and business. But psychology was interesting. Play money on it. To drive it up to the corner, so I might as well save money and go to the dump. You got that right, April. If I had to load it up and take it to the corner, and if there was a dump close by, if it was already loaded up, I'd just soon take it to the dump and unload it and get rid of it. Then I don't have to pay a sanitation bill every month. And people used to be able to do that here. But then so many people were doing it and not paying a bill every month that they closed the dump. It was gated. And then you had to show proof that you had trash pickup service with that company. And then they would let you in to dump whatever you had. And then later they started charging you. It was so much a load of garbage to pay to go in there and dump anything. And then they finally just closed the dump to the public. They wouldn't let anybody go in there and dump at all. Yeah, well, we got about 4 trash services that come through this community. And every one of them have these great big trucks. It's funny because I have to come up a hill down here to come up my street. I can hear them every time they turn to come up that hill. It sounds like that truck is on his last leg trying to get up the hill. Sometimes I wonder if he's going to make it or not. But then I think, man, I know those wheels are tearing the pavement up. Wow. I wouldn't want a damn trash service that I had to load my stuff up on and take it to them. Like you say, if you got to load it up and haul it to them, you just well take it on to the dump if you have access to the dump. Yeah, restaurants throw away some good food if you catch it in time. But thank the Lord I've never had to do that. Dumping your own garbage is a lot cheaper if you're paying $4 to dump it than it is to pay $30 a month. I could save my bags up and put them all in that can and take them off for $4 a month. Because I could lift my bags out of the can. Well, the trash, trash can. I know I could get 2 or 3 of the bags in that one. I don't know if I could get 4 full bags in it or not. Because my trash can's not that big. I don't use the trash pickup people's trash can, their little dumpster thing. I buy my own trash cans and use it. Because I don't want to pay the $5 or $6 more a month just to use their can. I mean, if I had a lot of garbage, it might be worth it, but that's me, April. I don't have that much. I could probably take everything that I've got in my trash can right now and burn it in my fire pit with no problem. Because all the food, leftover food that's thrown away, goes in my compost. A lot of my paper goes in the compost. I don't buy that many canned foods. I mean, I do buy canned food, don't get me wrong. I do buy it, but I don't buy tons of it. So I don't have that many cans to get rid of. So probably right now about 80% of my garbage can be burnt in my fire pit with no problem. They don't give you, well, they don't give them to you here. I mean, they supply them from the company that's got their name on them. And they're bigger than the regular trash cans. Like mine's a 32-gallon trash can that I use. I think that's what it is, or 40-gallon. And theirs are like twice that size. But they charge you like $5 or $6 a month just to use the trash can added to your bill. And I said, no more garbage than I've got. I'm not paying $5 or $6 added to my bill a month just for them to supply the can. With that little miniature dumpster thing with wheels on it. Now my next door neighbors, they've got 2 of their dumpsters. So they pay $10, $12 or more a month just to have the little dumpsters that they supply, trash cans. I don't have that much garbage, so I don't have both of them. I don't have 2. And they tell me with my size trash can that I could have probably 2 more like 30-gallon trash can size bags sitting beside it, and they would pick it all up. But I never have anything usually that I can't put in the trash can. And I have the trash cans that have wheels on them, so they're not hard to move. Yeah, I get to thinking sometimes, April, I don't know why I started the service back, because I don't have that much garbage to get rid of. I could burn basically everything I throw away. They don't give you trash cans, or they don't even rent you trash cans. Well, I understand, that they charge for them because when they break down, they have to replace that can. Whenever it breaks down, it doesn't matter how long you've had it. If it splits open, say, they have to replace it. You don't buy a new can. You just keep paying your monthly fee to have that can. But still, when you only have one 13-gallon trash bag full of stuff a week for them to pick up, it's not worth it to me. It tickles me. I've seen the guy. He comes out, he'll raise the lid on my trash can. He'll reach down in there and get my bag and take it up and just fling it over the top of the trash can. Because that's all I've got. I buy 13-gallon trash cans to go in my little, probably 5 or 6-gallon trash bag can that I got in the house. Because I fill it up, and then I put it out in the trash can. And then I put the smaller, like Walmart bags, in my garbage can in the house. And as they fill up, I take them out, and I put them back in that 13-gallon bag that I've already put out there. And usually it's full. I've got all I can possibly get in that 13-gallon trash bag when they pick up each week. Once in a while, I may have 2 of those bags in that trash can. And it's still not full. But yeah, about 90-95% of what I throw away can be burnt. I don't even have to really have a service. You know, stuff like ice cream containers. They're most of them I buy are like paper, cardboard paper. So you can burn those. A lot of frozen stuff comes in little bags and stuff that you can burn easily. Or they come in little like paper cardboard packages of frozen food that you can be burnt. You don't have to throw it away. I have a net I throw over mine in my truck bed. Well, I don't have a truck, but oh no, oh no. I was reading your comment, Dennis. He said I was taking cardboard to the dump and my ex-wife threw a cigarette and caught the bed of my truck on fire. So glad she's gone. I don't smoke and I don't like smelling cigarettes. I don't like the smell of cigarettes either. Oh my God. I can just see that, Dennis. I could just see your reaction when you realized your truck was on fire. What did you do? What did you do when you realized your truck was on fire? That's funny. And I forgot I had a fire extinguisher in my truck. I know, but what did you do when you realized your truck was on fire? How did you keep it from burning up your truck or causing your truck to blow up? Well, if it burned enough on the way to the dump, you wouldn't have anything to dump when you got there. It'd be all burned up and the ashes blown out. Oh, see this is the reason I love my lives. All these stories that are told in the lives, and I read them, and it just tickles me to death. It uplifts my day for sure. Well, I'm glad you weren't hurt. I can just visualize that. You riding down the highway and your truck bed's on fire. Oh, Lord. That's funny. Yeah, glad you're still with us. Because if you hadn't realized it was on fire, it could have blown your truck up with you in it. Yeah, I don't. The only kind of fire that I like is in a fireplace or in a fire pit outdoors. Your husband always did the fires for you in the evening. What do you mean someone blocked you, Dennis? How did someone block you? I don't understand. sit around the fire and see weird things, watch shooting stars. Maybe you've typed it too long. If you use too many characters in the comment, it won't post it. It'll tell you use too many characters. So if the comment's shorter, it might let it go through. Cut it down into 2 different comments and see if that'll work. Because that's happened to me. I get to typing and what I'm typing is so long, it won't post it because I've used too many character spaces. Oh no, Connie, oh my God. Dumped it in a dirt road and let it burn. Oh, I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine that, Connie. That would scare me to death. But that was popular back here a few years ago. I forgot what cars it was doing it, but the gas throttle would actually get stuck, and you couldn't slow your car down. That would scare me to death. And if you turn your car off, you lose power steering. And if you have power brakes, you lost most of your brake. So what are you supposed to do? The emergency braking, we went end over end 3 times, only broke arm, and he had a broken leg. Scary. I can imagine that was scary. I think my first reaction to that would just be to turn the engine off and see if that helped it. But with the gas throttle stuck, I don't even know if turning the engine from the key off would even cut the engine off, would it? I don't know. You cleaned it up, Dennis? Thelma and Louise. You pulled on the emergency brake and you went end over end 3 times. Wow. At 80 miles an hour, you're lucky that you're alive. My brother, years ago, he was by himself, and where he was driving, he was going a little bit fast going around a curve, and his car rolled over and went down an embankment, a pretty steep embankment. And it damaged the car pretty much. I mean, it totaled the car out. He got up and walked away. He had no broken bones, no cuts, no scratches. I don't even know if he got a bruise or not. But I said, well, someone was looking after you. Yeah, I wouldn't have pulled my emergency brake because that's like hitting a brick wall. Like I said, I think my first reaction, if that happened, would be to turn the switch off. But like I said, if the throttle's stuck, I don't know if even turning the switch off would have helped. It might have kept still running. I don't know. Have no idea. I had someone to ask me one time, they left a comment and said, how can you think of so much to talk about in your lives? I said, I don't. I said, my subscribers that are in my live with me give me stuff to talk about. I read the comments and then I start responding to these comments, and it keeps me talking. I mean, I don't think I could think of half the things I even mentioned if it wasn't for reading the comments. Oh, I see. He did it as a last resort to pull the emergency brake. Well, yeah, I guess that, if you're going 80 miles down the road, miles an hour down the road, the interstate, and you can't turn the engine off, you can't stop any other way, I guess as a last resort, you pretty much have to pull that emergency brake and hope for the best. Because it could have been so much worse if you'd have kept going at that speed. But there was a lot of cars here a few years ago that the gas throttle was getting stuck, and it was causing so many accidents. Well, hi, hello again, Karen. Oh, wow, you were up to 94? I know this guy that did wheelies that way. I don't know that he got up to 94 miles per hour to do it, but they'd get to going at a high speed. They'd pull the emergency brake and whip the wheel to either right or left, and then do a donut, basically. But you'd have to know exactly how to do that, or you do like Connie said, you're going to flip over, roll over. And I'm surprised they didn't roll over doing that. At that speed, you both were lucky that you even walked away from that accident, Connie. But I remember that years ago about the throttle sticking on the cars, and it was causing accidents because people couldn't stop. And the recalls on so many of those automobiles, I didn't even buy a car during that time because I said, I know my gas throttle don't stick. I don't want one that does. I don't remember somehow there was a defect in it, and they did a recall on all of them. But I remember all the accidents that I heard about that was caused from that throttle sticking. Took the jaws of life to get us out. Thought we died. You were lucky. Most people don't walk away from a car that's going 94 miles per hour and then rolls over. We still got 35 people, goodness gracious. And 51 thumbs up. Way to go, y'all. I don't think I've ever had that many thumbs up before. And there's Louisiana Homestead. Welcome to our live chat. We've only been on here running our mouths for 3 hours now. I'm doing great. How are you? We've been having such a good time. We're still here. Yeah, Connie was telling us all about the accident they were in. The throttle, gas throttle to the vehicle her husband was driving, and she was with him, got stuck at 80 miles per hour, and it kept picking up speed. And he had to pull the emergency brake, and they rolled over 3 or 4 times. I said they were both lucky they even come away from that alive. Lucky just to have a broken bone. Yeah, I can't imagine going through that. I probably would never be able to get in another vehicle the rest of my life after going through something like that. Because I was in an accident one time where I hit this car head on. I rear-ended them. And it was their fault because they were parked in the middle of the highway on a rainy night with the lights off. And I tried to avoid hitting them the minute the lights came flashing on. But I was too close to them at the time. I realized there was a car there. And I just plowed right into the rear end. Totaled their car. And I was driving a 66 Chevrolet Impala convertible, which was like driving an army tank. I only had to replace the radiator in the front grill part of my car, and it was fine. But the cops turned it in as that they were for the wreck because they were illegally parked on the highway. Those guys took me to court trying to fight it. They were 5 Army boys from Camp Lejeune, or Marines from Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. They had already been through boot camp and everything. And they told the judge, well, the judge said, well, you're 5 strappy Marines. You've been through boot camp. You could have got out and had that car moved off the highway, out of the line of danger, in just a matter of seconds. He said, why didn't you do that? We didn't want to get wet. They were out partying. They didn't want to get wet, you know. And the judge asked them, they said, well, why did you turn the lights off on the car? No one could tell there was an automobile there. He said, because we didn't want the battery to run down. Then we couldn't get the car started. He told him, he said, well, you couldn't get it started anyway. You were sitting there with the thing not running. So they'd wait till a vehicle come around the corner, because I was coming around the corner, and there they were, just as I rounded the corner. And in the dark, and in the pouring down rain, you couldn't see there was a car until they turned the lights on. When I got right there around the curve, right at them, those lights came on, and I realized there was a car. And when I realized it, I grabbed the steering wheel just like that. I pushed back with my legs, and I just plowed my foot right into the brake. I still went right into the rear end of that car. Pushed their bumper right up into the back seat. They didn't get hurt. I got all bruised up. I don't think there was a part on my body that was not black and blue after that. But you know, when my car was fixed, and it was fixed by a friend of mine, people that I grew up with that owned a body shop, they took it to his body shop to get it fixed. And I went out there today to get it, to drive it home, and he was there. And he said, get in your car and drive it around, see how it drives. Well, it had a big lot there. You didn't even have to get out on the highway. You could just drive it around the lot, circle around and stuff. I got in that car and sat down, and immediately my legs started shaking just like that. My legs, y'all. I'd pick my foot up to try to put it on the gas pedal. I couldn't put my foot on the pedal. It was shaking so bad. And finally, I just and I looked over at John Ed, who was right outside the car. He said, "What's wrong?" I said, "My legs are shaking so bad I can't even put my foot on the gas pedal." So I got out of the car. He looked down and shook his head. He looked up at me. He said, "You get back in that car right now and you drive it around this lot." He said, "If you don't do it right now," he said, "you will never drive another vehicle the rest of your life." I did what he said. I got back in the car. I sat there. My leg was shaking so bad, I honestly couldn't hardly get it to the gas pedal. Finally, after a few minutes, I managed to get my foot over on that gas pedal. I started the car with my legs still knocking. The car started moving and my legs quit shaking. So I'm so glad he was there that day, because if he hadn't have got on me and told me to get in that car and do it right then, I probably never would have been able to drive a car again. And for years after that, it was like I almost had flashbacks. Every time I came to an intersection or I got a car in front of me, I would slow down. I'd let that car get 10 car lengths ahead of me. I didn't want to be anywhere close to the rear end of the car. I'd pull up at a stop sign. I'd sit there forever because I was afraid. Honestly, I was afraid. I was terrified to pull out in that intersection, because I was afraid I was going to get hit or I was going to hit somebody. It took me many, many years to get over that. April's getting in her truck. She's listening. She's got to go to the store. That's okay, April. I'm going back to bed. I'm sick. Okay, Karen, we'll be thinking of you. Hope you feel better soon. We'll say a prayer for Karen tonight. Oh no, Dennis, 15 raw clams? How can you eat raw clams? I can eat them cooked, but not raw. Golden Corral in North Carolina had clams on the half shell on their food buffet for a long time. And I went there with my brother and his family one time, and I got some of the clams off the buffet. And they were cooked solid. It was not like eating raw clams. They were cooked because they were solid in that shell. And I ate them, and they were really good because I had them seasoned with something that was really good. And I guess we need to get off of here. We've been on here it's close to 4 hours now. Oh my goodness. I never mean to keep y'all this long, but I get into these chats and I have such a good time, I lose track of time. And nobody ever reminds me. They don't say, "Well, we've been on here long enough, we need to get off." Cherry stone clams are good raw. Well, I guess maybe I've never had cherry stone clams. No one remembers all that while it's happening. Yeah, I would, for years and years, I'd pull up to a stop sign and I'd hesitate. I was always the last one to pull out. Even at a red light, y'all. Well, I'm glad you called us too, but we got to get off of here. I need to let people go and take care of business. I didn't know that. Yeah, that was something you could have done. Put the car in neutral. I didn't even notice Janine Spurgeon came in. Hi there. How are you doing today? Yeah, because you know your wheels are not going to turn if the car's in neutral. I mean, it can coast if it's already going at a high speed, but it'll gradually slow down till it stops. Okay, y'all, we got to get off of here. I mean, I could stay on here all night and talk with everybody if my coffin would allow me to do it. I could take up all of y'all's night. But I have a good time just chatting with everybody. Yeah, I'm glad you called us too, Louisiana Homestead. Maybe you'll catch my next live. Just keep your notifications turned on to all notifications, and you should be notified every time I decide to go live, even if it's a spur of the moment live. Okay, Dennis, good night. Good night, Wilson, Connie, Dennis, Louisiana Homestead, April. Who else is in here? Janine, Karen Myers, and everybody that I don't see, Donna. Everybody have a blessed night. Stay safe. And I'll see you on the next one. I love each and every one of you. And I'm so happy that y'all take the time to spend with me in these lives. It just blesses my heart. But anyway, I could talk all night. Bye, y'all. Well, if I hit the right button.